Wrong intro.
Oh yeah, come on in. Don't be shy, don't stall. We got a funky vibe, yeah. Welcome all. It's a safe spot where the truth unwinds. Share your thoughts, leave your worries behind. Woo! Distrust, that's where you belong. Click that like and groove along. Hit subscribe, let the love flow free. Join the fam where you're meant to be. Oh, got mysteries, stories that feeling right. We dig deep, ain't no secrets to hide. No judgment here, just an open crew. We're all about justice and the honest view. Yeah, Distrust, that's where you belong. Click that
I
like
have no
and groove
sound, do
along.
you?
Hit subscribe, let the love flow free. Join the fam where you're meant to be.
Oh, hello. Fancy seeing you here. Good morning.
I had no sound, so I don't know what just happened, but I don't know.
Oh.
I hope everybody else heard it.
When you go, when you put the intro on, it automatically mutes everyone's mic.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't even get to hear the intro. It didn't even play.
Oh,
It
did
usually
you?
does for me. No.
Well,
Booger.
welcome. You're
It's okay.
introduced.
Hello, everybody.
Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us, everyone who's here. Oh, look at those lovely, voluptuous bosoms I can see.
Oh, my. I've been laying in the sun. I got my sundress on. I'm still on the porch, and it's about dark, so I'm sitting here looking. I wanted to show y'all the moon. Hold on just a minute. Our pretty little moon that's, well, my camera's mirrored. That's a little awkward and weird. How does that work? What?
Where is it?
I don't know because the camera's mirrored. It's so weird to look at. Why is it like that? I don't like it. Hold on a minute. Let's see.
Oh, no.
Can't unmirror it?
I don't know.
Shit, I don't know. See, okay. You see how those steps are going like
Yeah.
toward the right is what it looks like on the screen. To me, it's to the left. And the moon is just starting to, let me see if I can go opposite. Right?
Oh, yes, I
there.
see. Yes. Yep.
She's just starting to peep up.
Ooh.
Just starting to peep up, and we're on our way to a full moon.
That's right. It's 8 o'clock at night there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, where do we go? Oh, what happened?
Uh-oh.
That one? Is it that one? No, this one. Oh, I don't know. Are you there? Have I won anything? All right.
There we go. Let me put this phone down somewhere before I push any buttons.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good morning to you, huh?
In the house. Who we got in the house here? We have Fighting for Truth. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Miss Tricia. How you doing? What we've got? Oh, T-Paw 72. How you going? My favourite ladies. Aww. I've been called a lot of things, ladies. Hello, beautiful Curtis Hensley. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Kurt.
I wonder who this might be. Another beautiful lady. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Today, we are going to delve into, well, it's probably unsolved, really, isn't it? And a cold case now, forgotten and wiped off, basically. And it just so happened to be a neighbour of Tyres from across the road. Is it across the road?
Yeah, the holler that's across the road.
Yep. So Doty
I
Creek.
can see the holler from my front porch.
Okay.
Yeah. But now at the time that it happened, my backyard went right up over the mountain into where it happened at. Yep. So we lived at a different location.
So I won't give it away. I won't ask that question. It's all right. We'll ask it later. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. So don't forget to like and subscribe on your way in. That would be fantastic. We also have, here we go, the top right-hand corner is the QR code for Taya and Brandy's YouTube channel. Give them a like and sub. That'd be awesome. Some YouTube love. What else? Memberships. Now, pinned to the top of the comments section is a little message with a link to it. If you would like to support the channel, there is memberships available for just $2.99. And there is heaps and heaps of extras and perks that you can use, watch, see, hear, listen. And that would be absolutely awesome. I need 10 to be able to donate. You have to have a minimum of 10 members to actually like gift memberships. And I've got 7.
All right.
Yeah,
Almost there.
yeah. Yep.
So, yep.
Not a
Everybody
big I don't think, is it?
Just need 3 more.
3 little piggies. 3 little moonshiners. All right. So now Trina was 57 years old. And the story is that the media story is that she was attacked by wild dogs, maybe coyotes, and that was her cause of death. That's what the police investigation basically said, and that's what the medical examiner report said. But they left it very vague and said that it appears to be canine related, but they could not, consistent with the canine attack, but they could not like tell you which canine, basically. So there is a little intro video that I've got that explains sort of the context of where we're going today. And it tells you what mainstream media have portrayed and what the locals believe is actually the truth because of witnesses and stuff. So I'll play that for you guys now, and then we'll get back into the story. Alrighty? Let's do it. Hopefully you can hear it. Let me know if you can hear it okay.
Imagine this. A really tragic death happens, but then you hear...
You hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it pretty good.
Excellent. All right. I'm just going to nick to the loo whilst you're listening. Lick to the loo, my darling.
2 completely different stories about it, and both are deeply unsettling.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving into exactly that kind of situation, the conflicting narratives around the death of Trina Sandlin in Letcher County, Kentucky.
It's a complex one.
Our mission here is to unpack the official story versus a really shocking private account that emerged. We'll use the sources we have to try and understand not just what might have happened, but maybe why these 2 versions even exist.
You'll see how specific details, someone's background, even like local history, all start to weave together.
It definitely challenges how you think about truth and justice in these situations. So let's start with the public story. What were the initial reports about Trina Sandlin's death?
Okay, so on Sunday, June 9th, 2024, Trina Sandlin, who was 57, was found deceased out on Doty Creek.
Right.
The Kentucky State Police, the KSP, their first report said her injuries looked consistent with an animal attack.
Consistent with?
No,
That sounds general.
It is. But her grandson, Austin McIntosh, he was much more specific publicly. He alleged it was Carlos Bentley's dogs, described them as pit bulls mixed and starved to death.
Wow.
And he claimed there had been a previous attack by those same dogs that wasn't dealt with.
And the KSP, keeping it general, consistent with, is that standard procedure? What's the thinking there?
Well, yeah, it's pretty standard. It keeps the investigation open,
Okay.
doesn't lock them into one theory too early, allows flexibility.
Makes sense.
But in a place maybe already dealing with some trust issues, that vagueness, it can sound like they're holding back.
Fueling speculation, maybe?
Exactly. It leaves room for other stories to pop up.
Which brings us to this other narrative. What if the animal attack isn't the whole story? We've got access to these text messages, apparently from someone called Carlos Ray.
Believed to be Carlos R. Bentley.
Yeah.
Trina Sandlin's landlord, a key figure.
And these texts, they allege something completely different. Homicide.
Yeah, they claim someone identified only as Wade did it. Carlos Gore texts, quote, "My friend, accidentally or pre-med, did it."
Accidentally or premeditated. That's chilling either way.
And it gets even darker.
Yeah.
The texts hint at a motive like vigilante justice against pedophiles.
Seriously.
But here's what makes these texts really stand out. They contain specific details that weren't public, things that clash hard with the animal attack idea.
Like what kind of details?
Okay, for instance, the texts mention a sandal found near the body, but reports suggested Sandlin was wearing boots. That's a mismatch.
Oh, okay.
They also claim this Wade showered and packed up before the body was even discovered. You know, classic sign someone might be trying to hide something, destroy evidence.
Right, covering tracks.
And then there are descriptions of injuries like biceps were cut away. That sounds like intentional violence, not like a typical animal attack pattern.
So these details, if they're true, they point towards maybe staging a cover-up.
Precisely. It directly contradicts the initial KSP line about an animal attack.
Okay, but wait. Carlos Bentley, the supposed author of these texts, he's a convicted felon. Why would he suddenly claim the police are misdirecting things? What's his situation?
Right. Carlos R. Bentley is currently serving a 5-year sentence. It's for firearm possession in Letcher County Jail.
Okay.
So think about it. If his dogs were responsible for the death, even if it was just an attack, that could be animal cruelty, maybe worse. And for a felon, that could easily violate his parole, mean more prison time.
Ah, so he has a strong motive to point the finger somewhere else. Away from his dogs, away from himself.
A very plausible one, yes. It gives him a clear reason to potentially create this counter-narrative, alleging police misdirection.
So his personal situation adds a layer, but connecting this back. You mentioned previous attack involving these dogs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is critical. Months before Trina died, the same dogs on the same property reportedly attacked a child, severely injured the child.
And officials knew.
Officials confirmed it happened. But here's the kicker. No charges and no lawsuit were ever filed. And somehow, authorities mistakenly believed the dogs had actually been put down.
They thought they were euthanized, but they weren't.
Apparently not. And that failure, I mean, you can draw a direct line from that inaction to Trina Sandlin's death later.
Wow.
And it speaks to a broader issue maybe in Letcher County, a history of, well, let's call it distrust, maybe even vigilantism at times, where people feel the system isn't working.
And just when you think the level of distrust can't get any deeper, there's another huge event in Letcher County recently, right? Something involving the sheriff.
Yeah, I mean, talk about shaping public confidence. In September 2024, just a few months after Trina's death, the Letcher County Sheriff, Mickey Steins, was charged with murdering District Judge Kevin Mullins.
Murdering a judge in his chambers.
In his chambers.
That's her crime.
Reportedly connected to some kind of sextortion scandal. It's enormous.
So in that environment where the top law enforcement officer is accused of murdering the top judicial official.
Right. In that context, Bentley's claim of police misdirection, the Sandlin case, it stops sounding like just some random conspiracy theory from a felon trying to save his skin.
It becomes believable, or at least understandable why people would believe it.
It becomes a really plausible expression of just profound systemic distrust.
You think?
You know, it's a...
All right. We don't need to listen to. We know all about.
I think that that's a great point, though, that
Yeah.
comes right back to everything that we're in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the systemic distrust.
100%. 100%. Actually, is that better? I can't decide. On which concoction? Oh, look, that'll do. Yes. So there's a little from column A, little from column B. Now, getting back to the dogs. The dogs that no one ever actually checked to see if they had been euthanized. That's no one from KSP or from Letcher County actually went and checked and followed up after the 11-year-old boy was attacked.
I remember
Well,
that.
I thought he was younger than that.
I did too.
Very young. But yeah, you've got him mixed up with the 11-year-old that got killed that year in the river. He drowned or something, I think.
Hang on, let me have a look.
I thought he was 6, but I might be off on that one.
Yeah, the one that got attacked was like between 4 and 6. He was very young.
Little boy had to be trying. Oh, it doesn't give his age on there. Hang on, let me have a look on this one. Now the lead detective is Brandon Thomas from KSP. Let me see. Attack was located 20 miles from where Corey Godsey. Oh, that's in 2020. Okay. I did see it somewhere. Where the bloody hell was it? Reporter out.
It was more reason for them to
Yeah, it was
have
only
a better eye on it, because it was a child.
See, it doesn't say his age. It says, according to McIntosh, the dogs attacked and almost killed the little boy in the past few months.
Yeah.
But yes, I think with that attack, the dogs were supposed to have been put down, euthanized, basically, and they never were. All right, now where is my? Oh dear, where is my thing gone? Lost my story. Oh dear. How do I do this? Oh, here it is. Okay.
It's out there.
It is. I got so many tabs open, it's not funny. Good morning or good evening, Christine. Lovely to see you. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so everything that I've basically got here is directly from mainstream media reporting. So the official statements of the Kentucky State Police, the coroner, and the sheriff's office. So what I'll do is I will show you the media version, and then we'll discuss. And you can actually, if you want to pick up wherever you think the story differs, guys, you can jump on in. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
You are muted. All right. So who
Sounds
was
good to me.
Let me bring up her photo. Actually, this is Trina. Nice to put a name to the face. So she was 57
There she
years
is.
old. And as it says, her body was discovered near her home after she didn't return one evening. This is from her obituary, I think, or her eulogy, something like that. There wasn't many photos that I could find, to be honest. And then this photo is a photo of her ex-boyfriend, Greg, who has been very involved in trying to find out what actually happened to her since then. And I think he's actually writing a book.
Yeah, he's been very helpful, and he's reached out, I think, to anybody and everybody trying to get attention to it. Yeah,
we did actually invite him on, but I think he had other commitments at the time, so that's a shame. We might get him on another time. But yes, he's been very, very involved in this. And then this is the official Facebook media post when it happened. So Jeremiah, Kentucky, on June 10th, on Sunday, June 9th, 2024, at approximately 12:58 a.m., Kentucky State Police, Post 13 in Hazard, received a 911 call in reference to a female being located on Doty Creek in the Jeremiah community of Letcher County. Do you know who made that 911 call?
I actually don't.
No.
It's a pretty good question.
I'd like to hear that 911 call, actually. Troopers, along with detectives, responded to the scene, and the deceased female was identified as Trina Sandlin, 57, of Jeremiah. Preliminary investigation indicates that Sandlin had left her residence earlier in the evening to go to a neighbour's residence, but never returned. Family members located Sandlin near her home over an embankment and had suffered injuries consistent with an animal attack. Sandlin was pronounced deceased on the scene by the Letcher County Coroner's Office and transported to the Medical Examiner's Office in Frankfort for an autopsy. This remains under investigation. never got any further than that, basically. The autopsy just came back saying it was consistent with an animal attack. So, Doty Creek Road is in Letcher County, or Jeremiah, Letcher County. And her landlord was a man called Carlos Bentley. And he was a convicted felon, and who at the time of her death was serving a probation term. And he had addresses in the 1600 and 1700 blocks of the Doty Creek Road area, which is the same stretch of road that Trina lived on. Remember that because it comes up again, apparently. Thank you. So April 2024 was the first attack. Roughly 2 months before she died, a child was severely injured by the dogs on the same property. The attack was serious enough. The little boy had to be transported to Lexington Hospital, which is 2 hours away. The Letcher County dog, sorry?
I was just going to say, I remember when it happened, and I can't talk about who it is or anything, but I mean, he is a child, you know. But I do remember when it happened, and I remember seeing pictures of his body, and he was mauled. He was literally mauled by the
It was
dog.
horrible.
So
And
it was horrible.
was.
And he was a baby. Like I say, he was only like 4 years old, maybe. No bigger than 6. He was
Yeah,
still
at the
real
most.
little. That wasn't the same one as the 11-year-old. The 11-year-old's the one that died in the river, I think.
Yeah.
Up here in Blackie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite devastating for the family.
And it was definitely those dogs?
As far as I know.
Yeah.
Are they pit bulls like they pointed out or not?
Well, basically, you would have
that I have no idea.
A lot of people would own a pit bull. They would never get it fixed, and it would breed with a mutt, and then you'd end up with puppies on top of puppies on top of puppies, and they couldn't afford to get them fixed or get rid of the puppies. So they just have packs of wild dogs that, they can't afford to feed or maintain.
See, in Australia, we can't buy any rescue animals without them. They have to be neutered. They won't sell them otherwise. Unless these dogs don't come from being sold.
These dogs have just been passed down and handed off and sit out beside the road, picked up, dropped off somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Don't you think it would be cheaper to have them neutered?
Well, people are real bad about back home. Like, if they say you can't get rid of them, you may wake up one morning and somebody set out a box of puppies in your yard. If they know you are the type of person that would, take care of them, and then you end up overrun with them too. So, it
doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you just have them fixed? Like,
well, for one thing, we don't have a veterinary clinic here that does that. We have got a couple of groups that come in on occasion. They're like pop-up clinics where they come in and spay only cats for the day or only dogs for the day. But it's only like a once a month thing, and there's a waiting list. And it's also like first come, first serve for whatever extra slots they have. It's whoever gets there that's got the money to do it first. Well, plus, that's another thing is most people don't have $100 to throw to a vet around here. That'll feed your family for 2 or 3 weeks here.
Why don't they just put the lacquer band like they do with the sheep?
But I'm trying to jump the track on my thought there. Never mind, guys. Never mind.
Those little plastic bands that cut the circulation off, like when you put them on the sheep.
Like how I would my goats or something. I mean, I'm sure they could. Yeah. And I'm sure that some people do things like that. But your average citizen isn't going to be chasing its stray dogs down the road to put rubber bands around.
Well, I know what I was going to say. We also live in the mountains, and there's problems with coyotes. So, you've got wild packs of dogs.
And
you've
then
got
dogs
coyotes.
there's like these packs sometimes that.
Coyotes.
Yeah.
So, it's a double threat.
It could have been a mixture.
Like we don't even know for sure if it was the dogs or the coyotes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we assume it was the dogs because of the other circumstances that happened, but just because it correlates doesn't mean that it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That it was the cause of the other thing.
They never looked any further to try and
Right.
differentiate.
Nobody
so,
ever looked to differentiate, which is scary
and
considering
that
we have to live
seems to be
here.
a common
You know,
theme. I'm learning that that's a common theme over there.
but something that I know for an absolute fact is that dogs can't take a knife and slice open a woman's biceps. That's what I
right.
know for a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
dog, coyote, Bigfoot, I don't give a fuck. You ain't slicing open no fucking woman's biceps. You know what I mean? That happened by a human man,
yeah.
period.
We haven't got to that bit yet.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hang on. I got something for that. I found it.
Don't
the
want to
other
drop
day.
too much too soon, but
Okay.
you know how riled up I get.
Yep, that happened. All right. So did the dogs get euthanized after Trina, or
I don't
and how
think
many was
I
there?
don't know that either.
I don't think so.
I
mean,
never heard either way.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that guy still up there, Carlos?
He's in jail, I reckon.
Oh, okay.
Last time I
Well, we
looked,
can look
he
that
was.
up. We can look that up on the Letcher County Jail prison site.
Before their site went down for their website renovations, is what I'm going to call it, for their housekeeping, he was still listed as an inmate, but it's been a while since I've checked it because after trying for 2 weeks straight,
So what
and
was
the
he
site
in
failed,
for?
and I just gave up, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to try. So I quit checking.
Do you know what he was
a
in for?
parole violation or something, wasn't it? Or no,
I don't know. I think so.
I think parole violation maybe, but I don't know for sure.
Do you know what the initial charges were? Where is it? Come on, inmate. Come on. Why won't you go down?
I don't know that either. It's probably something I should know.
Hang on, I need to reduce the size of my page. I can't get to the bottom. All right, current inmates. What was his name?
Carlos Bentley.
Yes, I have read and agree. Carlos Bentley. It's in alphabetical order.
Yeah, he should be right at the top.
I've got Mark Can Bentley.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Mark's back. What happened? Okay, who's next? Tell me who's
Do you want me
next.
to read them? I'll read them through if you like. Okay. Current inmates are Darren Adams, Gary Dean Adams Jr., Donnie Amons, Ethan Baker, Gregory Baker, Darlene Laquata Brashear, Jeremy Brock, Brian Broom, Clarence Brown, Tanisha Campbell, Benjamin Caudle, Donald Collins, Robbie Collins, Christopher Combs, Kimberly Cornett, Daniel Dials, Dallas Fleming, Kelly Fleming, Stephen Fleming, and Vincent Fleming, Matthew Frazier, Jeffrey Grant, Clarence Gross, Daryl Hawcombe, Douglas
So Carlos
Hayes.
is out. Or at least he's out of Letcher County. Can you look and see if he's in the Kentucky system anywhere? Like put him in the cool and see if he's on parole? Did they transfer him, I'm wondering, send him to prison, or let him out on probation again?
I don't know how to get into cool without my VPN on.
Kentucky, hang on a minute, let me go try.
Do you want me to read through the rest, or?
Sure.
Paul Helton, Stephen Hetherington, Alex Hyatt, Emily Hill, Tyler Hill, Sean Eiler, Keegan Isaac, Roger Gent, Carl Johnson, Chris Johnson, John Keithley, James Kinser, Rachel King, Ethan Kaiser, Bubby Lucas, okay, Stephen Maggard. He's one of the people in that photo, the good old boy's photo's father, or same surname.
he was Adam Maggard.
Adam Maggard, yes, yeah. Kobe Millam, Mark Miles, Bertley Mullins, Brian Mullins, Marjorie Mullins. So many of the same bloody surnames, and they're probably no relation to Kevin at all.
There's
Gavin
many
Polly.
sets of every surname.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 or 3 of each surname.
Yep. Jason Polly, James Ratcliffe, Tabitha Richardson, Caleb Ritchie, Elizabeth Ross, Ryan Sexton, Robert Short, Kyab Sloan, Kevin Sloan, Rayleigh Sloan, Billy Smith. Why do I know that name? Talvis Smith, Billy Sturgill, Brayton Sturgill, Kyla Sullivan, Aaron Thomas, Cody Tucker, Tara Velasco, Alfred Walker, Rodney Webb, Stephen Whitaker, Timothy Wright, Deanna Wyatt, and Travis Yeary. Lots and lots of familiar surnames there.
Trav is our cousin. That's Leah's, my daughter's cousin. My husband, the prison system
Clarence.
killed, that's his first cousin. That's the one that they arrested in his house for escape from house arrest. They kicked in his door and arrested him for escape. And he was sitting there with his ankle monitor on his ankle in his house where he was supposed to be. And he's been there ever since. They let him come out and go to Clarence's funeral for one day and visit. But that was it.
So what was he in there for?
And I found old Carlos Bentley.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I sent you the link over on Messenger to the cool site where you can pull it up yourself if you want to. But
cool.
he's in a prison. They sent him on to prison.
Okay,
To the place where they like classify them in.
Does it say what his charges is?
Hang on a minute, let me see.
Bentley, yeah. Bentley, and it's Carlos, isn't it?
It says flight, escape 1, and weapon offenses.
Ooh.
I knew it was something parole.
And weapon offenses.
I knew it had something to do with parole or, something with the weapon,
Something he violated. Somehow he violated.
Yeah.
But because they had already removed his rights. As the system does to everybody here.
He's at Rotary Core Complex.
Yes, that is where they send them in to be classified, where they decide, do you need medical care? Then you'll go to this facility. If you're a sex offender, you'll go over here to this facility where you can take the class. Or if you're a big dog, then you can go down here with the big dogs. And
they call it the Rotor Farm.
Yeah.
There you go.
Rotor Farm.
Yeah, there he is. Yeah, that's him.
Okay. So.
Now, mind you, this is the witness. Okay.
This is the owner of the dogs, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the owner of the dogs.
Yep.
But he's also the person that has said, like, this person came to my house and took a shower after he killed her.
Yeah.
Okay. So, mind you, the person that actually did the killing is still walking the streets.
Don't give it away.
Girl, shut my mouth.
So expected time to serve is 2033. That's a long sentence.
For those kind of violations. So I don't.
Yeah.
Long enough for somebody else to get away with murder.
Well, especially when you only get 6 months for rape, sodomy, and fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what was he? Offense 1, fleeing and evading police, first degree. Well, okay. 6 years for that. 6? The fuck?
Yeah.
And mind you, that is just a tacked on charge. That's just for that escape part. That's not even for whatever they gave him.
Well, there's nothing before that.
You know what I mean? Like, that might be what they have him on now, but how much time has he already done on this, on the fucking original charges is my question. Because we all know how they fucking drag it out and drag it out and drag it out. You never get off parole or nothing.
Yeah. Well,
but if that's the only charges.
Yeah, that's it.
Then why is he in prison till 2033 just for that?
Yeah.
That don't make sense at all to me.
What's the Sky Act?
The what?
The Sky Act. Never heard of that before.
Me either. Where do you see that?
On the top
First
where he's
degree
fleeing.
Sky Act.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever seen that in my life.
Yeah.
Fleeing and evading police, first degree Sky Act. I guess that's 2024. I'm assuming.
I would
Did
assume
they have
so.
Sky
to
Act
get
24. Hold on a minute. Let me get my fucking Google
I'm
out.
doing it. I'm doing
Okay.
it. The Sky
So,
Act.
Sky Act 24.
Fleeing or evading police in the second degree. Okay. Let me share this. Okie dokie. Zoom it. And how do you bugger off over there? Get rid of that. Thank you. Okay. A person is guilty of fleeing or evading police in the second degree when A, as a pedestrian and with intent to elude or flee, the person knowingly or wantonly disobeys a direction to stop given by a person recognized to be a peace officer.
That fucking violates your civil rights
So
anyway.
he ran away? Really? That's it?
He ran away from being fucking stopped.
Okay.
Which is within your civil rights, might I add.
Or B,
You do not have to stop and fucking address these motherfuckers.
No, keep in mind how many of our people have been shot by running from them. And
That's true
killed.
too. But I mean, look at fucking what happens when you do face them. They put you in jail and give you fucking years on your life.
Well,
You know, like these people who have said, I ain't going back and made the cops shoot them, I don't fucking blame them.
Yeah.
You know?
So if he's approached by police and he runs away, then he hasn't been charged with anything. So what's the crime?
Exactly. So what's the crime? What's your reasonable suspicion for stopping him? What's your reason for even apprehending him to begin with? Because it doesn't have any of that listed.
No.
But he's doing time until 2033 for it. But they can't put the details.
Hang on, there's a bit more to it.
What
I'm going to
happened?
scroll down a bit. So, or the second one is while operating a motor vehicle with intent to elude or flee, the person knowingly or wantonly disobeys. Basically, so if you've been pulled over and then you look off.
Right, that's if you flee in a car. But second degree, it says that you're a pedestrian. That means you're on foot. So you're not even a fucking threat.
No, this is part of the law. So A was the pedestrian, or B was the motor vehicle. So it was given.
But see what it says there at the beginning. One, that it's guilty in the second degree. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What makes it a second degree, not a first degree, or a third degree charge?
It has to be either one of
Because
those.
that is what gets you classified and gets you heavier time. It's whether you're a class A, B, C, or D felon.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he was classified C. So 2 is no offences committed under this section when the conduct constitutes a failure to comply with a directive of a traffic control officer. Fleeing or evading police in the second degree.
Traffic control officer.
Yeah.
Note that, what that says.
I'll copy and paste it.
The fucking absurdity.
Wait a minute.
The fucking absurdity.
Wait a minute. Would that mean he might have drove through one of the ridiculous roadblocks, maybe?
Maybe. The way they'll set up roadblocks here to fucking pull every single person over and give you a fucking sobriety test and shit. Or check your tags, look for license, check your insurance.
Right.
They call them safety checks.
They used to have people back in the day that, didn't have insurance. They knew they was going to go back to jail, and they would blow through them just to say, I ain't going back. But like I said, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
like, why would I stop here and let you harass and strip me of my rights whenever it's not within my rights to have to stop, period? You know what I mean? You've got a right to travel as an American. It's one of those God-given unalienable rights. Even like having a license and shit is illegal. But nobody even realizes it. Like, we're not supposed to need these things. Anything that they charge a fee for you to fucking participate in, that's not illegal. That's not real. But they charge us with crimes for it. And they set up roadblocks to catch you without a license or to catch you doing this or to catch you. Imagine our ancestors going through that shit, y'all. For real. Like, if your mama had to fucking get pulled over every time she went to the grocery store, how long you think that shit would last? I know it wouldn't last long with mine.
Yeah, that's all under common law, isn't it? All right. So the last one is fleeing or evading police in the second degree is a Class D felony, and the defendant shall not be released on probation, shock probation, conditional discharge, or parole until he or she has served at least 50% of the sentence imposed. Now, that's nothing. How would you get 6 years for that? There's no violence. There's no
For not stopping. Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Well, Jody, ask yourself why my child sat down there for a bad check for 3 years in that jail for a Class D.
Or why they hold some people for up to 5 and 6 years before they ever even let them see a trial date.
All right, this is in the first degree. What's the difference? A person is guilty of fleeing or evading police in the first degree when while operating a motor vehicle with intent to elude or flee, the person knowingly or wantonly displays person. Yeah. At least one of the following conditions exists. 1, the person is fleeing immediately after committing an act of domestic violence. 2, the person is driving under the influence of alcohol. 3, the person is driving while his or her driver's license is suspended. Or 4, by fleeing or eluding the person is the cause or creates substantial risk of serious physical injury. I can get that. That's fine. But there is no, in the other statute, there is no prequel to it. So there's no, if he's fleeing or eluding because of a crime at all. Right. He doesn't have to stop.
Right. Right.
Like, the fuck? But it was also classed as a Class C felony, not a D. So what's fleeing or evading police in the first degree is a Class C felony, and the defendant shall not be released on probation. I don't understand how you get 6 years out of that. That is just bullshit to me.
Yeah,
it sounds like they've stacked it on.
They charged me once with giving a police officer false information, but it's under your constitutional right that you don't even have to tell them your name.
No, not without a warrant.
Well, they charged me that once.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
For giving false information.
I am not surprised.
Yeah.
The more I read, the more I shudder. All right, let's bring this back up again. Where is it? Share screen. Offender information. Oh, well, we don't really need to continue that. What does this say? No. All right. So, what is a Class D?
If you click on, there you go.
It went from a C to a D. So what they've done, they've got.
That just means that there's 2 separate charges there. One is a Class C and the second one is a Class D, which is also unconstitutional. Their Second Amendment right tells us we have the right to bear arms. That doesn't say that a foreign entity has the right to come in here and strip us of them under any circumstances.
The possession of a firearm by a convicted felon says that was the crime date was back in 2020. So if he was only charged in 2024, how could he be a convicted felon? The crime hadn't happened yet.
The Class D.
Yeah. He got 5 years for having a possession of a firearm.
Well, the Class D, that's saying that he was already a felon whenever he got that charge.
Yeah, exactly.
So that means he not have a prior history that doesn't show up on this.
No. If the crime date there is 2020, he was found with a weapon, even though it's a state where you can have.
That's his probation. That would have been the charge he was on probation for then.
So that would have been
like that. That means that he was on probation for having a gun as a convicted felon. Well, and that's what his violation was. When they violated him, they gave him this Class C felony, which is a new charge. See what I mean? And then they just stacked it.
So that one, the way I read it is that this is the offense 1, and that happened in 2024. And then because
that's what he's currently serving time on, because they charged him with a new offense, a brand new offense. And the offense 2 is just a reflection on his past history, what he was already on parole for. So that's why it's classified as offense 2, not offense 1. I know it's backwards. Every fucking thing here is backwards.
They've tacked on a firearms charge because they can add it as an extra onto the first one to up his charges, basically. But they're saying that happened back in 2020. So he wasn't.
But he was already, if he was on parole for that charge, And that happened back in 2020 when he got caught with the gun as a felon. He's on parole for that. He's pissing in the cup. He's going in every month like I have to. That
Yeah, but
means that
he's gonna
anything,
be-
like if I were to commit a crime right now and go back to jail, my cool report would pull up my old charges and I would be in prison for kidnapping and contraband and trafficking and flagrant non-support all over again. They restart it.
Hmm.
When you
So-
get in trouble on probation, they just restart that charge. But since that had happened in the past, that's why it's offense 2, where they got a new charge on him here for fleeing and evading. They was able to just tack that on out of convenience
So
and give him a
basically,
parole violation. Likely, that's probably how he ended up with doing time till 2033 is the parole violation. I
so
guarantee
they've
it's not
gone.
on the original charge.
So Trina died in June 2024, didn't she? And then, so this is August 2024. So they've gone looking for him for the dogs, no doubt. But he wasn't convicted until December 2025. So they've sat him in Letcher County Jail for what, 14 months? More.
Yeah, he was
Before
in there
they-
for a long time. I've been keeping
before
my
they
eye on it for a
convicted him.
while now.
So he sat there since August 24 until December 25 without being convicted. So he hasn't been arraigned. He hasn't been indicted. Well, he's Class C, isn't he? So they can't classify him because they're not.
They can't because they're not a Class C facility.
Yeah, there you
Exactly.
go.
Exactly.
There you
That
go.
ties right back into that.
Yes, it does.
Yet
Okay.
again.
I'm
Fucking
fucking
idiots.
there now. Yep. And would that time then come off his sentence or not? No.
No, not unless he
Not
like does
registered.
classes or something like we've been discussing. Like
So
where
he's-
he's at now, though, he'll be able to access classes and things and get time off of his sentence.
So he's done 15 months of
But
time.
he's already done a fucking, a year and a half sitting dead time before they even fucking put him in there. Send him off to do his classes and stuff. So,
That's fucked up.
yeah. Yeah, that's what, like, it was so insulting. Bert Sloan said, "You was only in my jail a few months." Was I? Motherfucker, really? Look at your records. Don't you have records?
Mhm.
Because I do. I do. You might count it as dead time, but that time existed to my children.
Yeah.
That time existed to my family. You know, like, what the fuck?
Absolutely. They don't give a fuck, though. They don't. And we've proved it. But I've actually got a solution, a possible solution, which I need to discuss with you after this. Remind me to tell you about Angela Mays.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So before euthanasia, they'd have to prove it was their dogs and not the coyotes. Okay. That's fair enough. It's fair enough. We have safety checks all the time. Ah, lovely hearts. Thank you, Curtis. All right. So we were at the child who got injured by the dog on the same property and went to Lexington. So the Letcher County dog warden and the deputy from Letcher County Sheriff's Office, who would be none other than Mickey Steins, they were told by the residents that the dogs responsible had been put down. And Sheriff Mickey Steins advised the injured child's family to see the county attorney about pursuing charges, and they never did. From that point on, county officials operated under the belief that those dogs were dead. But they didn't check, did they? No. No. So, Saturday the 8th of June, which is the night before, one day before her death, Trina posted something on Facebook that had never been fully explained. It was a sepia-toned image of a pit bull with the caption, "R.I.P. Achilles Lee McIntosh." Did you guys ever see that? That Facebook post?
No,
I tried to look her up on Facebook and I couldn't find anything. So
Sounds like she lost a dog.
McIntosh is Trina's family name. Her grandson.
And mind you, now that's something else you got to keep in mind is that these dogs knew her. Okay, so even if they were real hungry, they knew her.
Thank you. I've
Thank
been called
you.
a lady and amazing in the one day. I'm going to get a big head. Fancy being called a lady. If you only knew. All right, so her grandson's name was Austin McIntosh. The meaning of this post remains unknown. Was it a memorial for a dog that had died? Was it connected to the dogs on the property? Nobody has really publicly clarified this. When I did go on to Facebook and I followed a few, actually it was the policeman, the Grayson, the trooper that did the media post, I read through the comments and I actually found one lady on there. What's her name? It's at the top of this somewhere. Where is it? There we go. Michelle Brero, who made a comment saying that she was a friend of hers. And I did try and reach out to her, but she didn't see my message. So, bugger. I was hoping to get her story, see what she had to say. All right, so that same evening before dark, she left her rental house on foot and was walking to her landlord's house, Carlos Bentley's home, to pick up the paint for the house, but she never arrived. Sunday, the 9th of June, at approximately 12:58 to 1 a.m., the Kentucky State Police in Hazard received a 911 call. Trina's companion and her landlord, Carlos Bentley, had gone looking for her. So the companion would be Greg, is that right? Did he go searching to find her?
I believe so.
I think so, yeah.
They'd gone looking for her when she didn't return, and they found her body over an embankment near the path between her rental house and Bentley's property, and she was deceased. The official reports were that, it was consistent with an animal attack, and she was pronounced dead on the scene by the coroner. The next day, or between the 10th and the 12th, the Kentucky State Police released statements to the media. The lead investigator assigned was Detective Brandon Thomas. The family members became concerned when she didn't return from her work. No foul play was suspected, and animal attacks of this nature are not common in the area, but they do happen. The coroner was Perry Fowler and confirmed that Trina was attacked by canines, but said he could not initially distinguish between the domestic dogs and coyotes. And he retained her clothing for DNA testing. Whether he did test it or not is another thing. So,
and we do have coyotes. That's why we have a fence.
Yep.
For our goats, like that is a threat. They will take a small animal. They don't come in where the whole herd's at though.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They don't come at me as a person. They would sneak in the back side of the fence if the fence is down and sneak off one of the kid goats. You know what I'm saying? Or a straggler off by itself. They're not big animals that are So how did her body get there to be offered to these dogs and animals is the question. You know what I mean? Because she was found up on the hillside, wasn't she?
Yes. They pick the weak ones off the pack and segregate them and then all attack the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Like we're surrounded by coyotes. We fight them off all the time. Well, we don't have to fight them off. We just have to outsmart them, so, which isn't... That's what I'm saying. And if it was those dogs, if that was her landlord that lived next door, she walked by those dogs every day.
Yeah.
She was probably petting them, giving them snacks, treats every now and then, speaking to them at the very least.
Yeah.
It's not like these dogs were just out in the woods fucking hunting for a victim. You know what I'm saying? Like something else is going on here that don't fit.
And the social media put out there that they were pit bulls and they were starved to death. And the police and the dog warden were too scared to act after the April attack on the child. So,
too scared to act?
Mm-hmm.
Too scared to act on what?
Yeah.
And about what? You were too scared to act. So you just leave us all to the wolves, literally.
Yeah.
Literally, leave us all to the dogs. Scared to act. And you're our police force. Why?
Oh, so they were trying to pick him up because of the dogs. That was a parole violation, apparently. Wow. That must have been why they went.
Dogs were a parole violation, or his?
Yeah, I
Were
don't
they
know.
charging him? I don't understand that.
Neither do I. All right. So March 2025, a friend comes forward. 9 months after Trina's death, a friend named Joan posted a public comment making a disturbing allegation. Trina was trying to break off a relationship with a man from Red Fox, a friend of the landlord, Carlos Bentley, and she was afraid of him. This introduced an entirely new dimension. If Trina was afraid of someone connected to the very property where she died, does that mean the official animal attack narrative was false? So let's ask a few questions. What doesn't add up? Number one, in April 2024, the child is mauled by the dogs. Officials are told that the dogs are dead. 2 months later, a woman is apparently killed by the same canines. Were the dogs ever actually destroyed? We still don't know. 2, Kentucky State Police said no foul play was suspected, but a friend of Trina's said she was afraid of a man connected to her landlord. And that wasn't the only thing that came forward either. Why wasn't that lead ever investigated? 3, the coroner said that he couldn't distinguish between the domestic dogs and the coyote. So what were the final DNA results from her clothing? They've never been publicly released. 4, Carlos Bentley, convicted felon on probation, and his dogs had already attacked a child. Why was there no probation? But well, he was. He's in jail, you dickheads. 5, Trina posted an image of a pit bull with a memorial caption when she died. What was the... Yeah, okay. And so apparently there was a 13-year-old boy called Corey Godsey back in 2020, just 20 miles away in Knott County, who was killed by dogs as well. And his body was found 1,500 feet up a hillside. It took police 6 months to determine the cause of death.
I remember that. I
I
remember
do
that.
not.
I
was in
have
prison then. No, I was in prison in 2020.
I actually have a few links that I kept because there was some interesting offshoots in some of the articles that I found. They have the little links, and one of them, where is it? One of them, I'll share this screen. How's that? And you can see what I'm looking at. Image file.
Okay, but if it was feral dogs, like if it was a pack of dogs from Knott County that crossed over the hill and came out, then why would Carlos be in hot water because of the dogs?
Did you ever see
the dogs? Like, so which is it? Is it feral dogs or is it fucking...
They never went any further than that.
I mean, when you look into like the messages and things we have, though. Ooh.
Yeah. Let me just bring this up. So Austin, her grandson, went onto Facebook, and that's what he was saying, that the dogs that killed her grandmother, the police were called months before to put the dogs down after they attacked a little boy. I need help getting justice for her because Carlos Bentley is the owner of the dogs. The law is going to let him get away with it. All right, so this was a map of... I need to make this smaller. So I can fit it on my screen. That's not working, is it? Here we go. That's better. So this shows Doty Creek and the Adams Branch and Right Fork Doty Creek. And that's where Knott County and Letcher County intersect. Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, it's just right over the hillside.
Yeah, this is it. So a dog bite fatality register that I looked at. Let me see if I can find it again. It was... Oh, I've saved a few. Here we go. Let me upgrade it again so you can see. Okay, so there's I will go on to the site, but there was comments that left in there about Trina's death, and this is where I found Michelle Brero. So Rebecca on the 11th of June 2024 said, to me, over an embankment sounds like a bit like into a ditch, which is one place we know pit bulls like to drag their victims. Michelle Brero said, Trina was my friend. Her is the father of my granddaughter. I don't understand any of this. If there is a wild dog problem, why isn't it looked into?
Okay, wait. That it says over an embankment.
Mm.
What did the police report say?
Over an embankment.
We're going for a hike, girls. We're going for a hike. You're going to see what this over an embankment comes from. If it was over an embankment, there would be a road above it. There would be a ridge line above it that she would have come off of. Over an embankment means that falling down the fucking hillside off the road.
Yep.
Does it not, Brandy? Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right.
I thought you said
This is not over an embankment. She was drug
on
up
a
the mountainside. There's nothing behind it but a fucking wilderness.
Wasn't she leaning
And an
against
old logging road at the main fucking top. I'll take you up there. Well, I'll take you up there and fucking show you. This is crazy.
How far away from you is it?
I can literally look at my front window and see
But is
the
it walking
holler
distance?
and the
Is it walking-
mountain where it was at, where it happened. Yeah, I mean, well, it's a long way to walk, but
Oh.
my property connected to it. Connected to their property, connected on the other side of that mountain. That's their property line meets our property line. There's nothing up there but fucking wilderness, trees. There's one old ass logging road that there is no access to, and one gas well road that goes up and around the other side of the mountain. There is no over an embankment right there. Not unless her body was not where it actually, unless they're reporting that her body was somewhere
Do you know exactly where she was
than
found?
where it actually was. I know where it was reported. Because it scared the bejesus out of me. I was like, what do you mean there's a pack of wild fucking animals eating women? And here I am out laying in the yard. Like, we got kids, we got dogs, we got chickens, we got things to worry about,
And you've never
But
seen
that's
any
something
of
that raises the alarm. You think about that. Like, what do you mean somebody got attacked and killed? Or
You've never
eaten?
seen them?
No.
Welcome.
I mean, anybody else that's from here, please speak up and help me out here. Because you know where I'm talking about. Y'all know where this happened, right?
It's all
You know this holler. What embankment? Did she go
well, a
over an
holler.
embankment?
Well, a holler.
That
If
is
you
not
think about
even
it,
fucking consistent with how a fucking ridgeline moves. You know what I mean?
So what did the officials say?
Yeah, Brandy, to explain to him how it is going up a holler. There ain't no fucking road up above you for her to fall off of an embankment of.
no, that's what a holler's made
There's
of.
not
A
a
holler
fucking.
is a valley in between two mountains, and
And when you say over an embankment, that means that you fell off the fucking road and rode down the mountain.
Yes, it says later found her body down an embankment near her home. That was the official report.
We got to go for a walk.
Do you reckon you could take a drive up there and record the area and have a look?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go for a hike or something. We'll go in on foot and check it out.
Because
I'm telling you, that don't even make sense.
No.
Unless it was like when you're going up a holler, you know, Brandy, how you'll have like a road on the left and a road on the right that goes up another hill, up an embankment to where the house is, right?
like to a house on the hill.
To another house on the hill or something. But there's a road that leads there to the embankment. The embankment is like the level part of a road that gets you there. So what did the newspaper say?
This is all
I
from,
have read something. I'm telling you what I'm stuck on is I have read something somewhere that said that she was dragged up the hill.
I think
that there's
that's-
not anything behind it.
I think that was a report from a witness that might have heard the other story.
Maybe.
Yeah. So these are all this information has come from newspaper articles and obituaries and stuff that's been in the press, basically. Some photos. So family members found her body over an embankment, consistent with an animal attack. I can put all the links in the. Oh, this is what I wanted to look at. So it was the dog bite injury trends and stuff. They did a report on it. Dog bite fatality statistics. I think
Even if it was the dogs that finished her off, who the fuck cut her arms?
Yeah, well, should we go into?
Can we fucking just get there because you know what I mean? Yeah, it's great looking at the dog statistics and things. I think it matters with what the narrative that they're trying to spin with it. But I think what's more important is that a dog doesn't carry a knife and cut a fucking woman's arms open to draw in other predators.
Do you want to?
Who has the capability of doing that? A dog? A coyote? Does a bear? Can Bigfoot do it?
Do you want to start from what you believe the real story is, like from what people heard?
I think that man killed her. I don't know if it was on purpose or by accident, but there are messages of him saying that he will kill her before he let anybody else be with her.
Well, you gotta kind of, I guess, back it up a little bit to kind of tell them, like, what others have said, like kind of, what locals are saying and, and what maybe.
Wasn't there witnesses that came forward with a different story?
There are multiple witnesses that came forward with their story.
All right. What was that?
There were stories that she had been ran over first and that the dog attack was just a cover up for being hit by
what actually happened. Yeah,
her getting ran over.
And then after that it had all happened, that this Carlos guy, the one that's in jail right now till 2033 apparently, that he wasn't even involved, that he was at his house and the murderer came there and had blood on him and needed to shower and clean himself up and set his story straight.
So there was another guy that turned up at Carlos's house covered in blood and needed a shower.
Wanted to shower.
And he let him shower.
Yeah. And he was scared. There's messages from Carlos talking about how scared he was to not let him fucking just go about his business and do what he was trying to do. Because he was like, yeah.
Didn't I hear someone actually heard the car and...
Yeah, there was a witness that had reported that they had heard the vehicle. And you got to think, when you live in a holler and people go in and out all day.
You just heard my neighbor start up 3 houses down and fucking blow down the road. Like, when a car is coming and who it belongs to.
Yeah, who it belongs to. So he had reported that they had heard the vehicle and they were dragging something.
That's right. I remember that.
And I think there was multiple witnesses. There was...
what was his name? Do you remember?
One of them was a minor, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know his name. I don't want to say that one anyway. I don't know. And the other one was a woman. The one that I was reading about.
Because I couldn't find anything on that.
They're willing to talk to us and to talk to investigators still. Just FYI. Okay. We probably don't need to say their names on here anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is they're kind of at the point they don't feel like there's ever going to be any justice with it because of all the things that has went on since since
Yeah.
it happened. So, you know, there's that.
Right. Now, listen,
weird-
I was told too. Somebody had said that whenever they showed Mickey's finds of evidence, he was the only one open to even viewing it and being like, wait a minute, like maybe we need to take another look at this. That Mickey was like the only one. And that he was about to do that whenever all this other shit popped off. And now that's down the drain.
Well, the
Because
reason
now
that
he's
I followed,
in jail for murder, you know?
the main reason I picked up on this particular case was a couple of reasons. One, that she was a neighbour of yours, which I find not a coincidence. But two, Mickey, when he was first arrested and he was sitting in the courthouse when he was handcuffed and he was talking to Detective Trotter, he asked him he said, I apologise if I've embarrassed you over that fatality. And so I went back right through to February of 2024 to find out the fatalities in Letcher County. And it just so happened that Trina Sandlin was the last fatality before the shooting
Yes,
of
ma'am.
the judge. That's why I
Yes.
picked this one. So I'm not sure where the connection is, because the lead detective isn't who he was asking about. He was asking about Alan Bormus, who basically the second that Mickey was arrested, he basically went to and became the resource officer at the school. So he was no longer being a detective. And I can't find him listed on any of the fatalities in Letcher County at all for that year. They're either Trotter or this what's his name? Brandon Thomas. There is no one, Alan Bormus, listed as a lead investigator. So
Well, if he was just a deputy anyway, he wouldn't be a lead investigator, you know, but maybe he was just one of the guys that was on scene.
well,
Or
yeah,
somebody
Mickey
that,
said he said the one that Alan was investigating.
yeah.
So there isn't another Alan on there, because it
No.
wasn't Mickey that said Bormus, it was
No,
Trotter.
it was the other cop. Yeah, that like
Yeah.
confirmed it, saying Bormus. Like,
Well,
yeah,
but Mickey never confirmed or denied it. He didn't say another thing
that's
after.
true. That's true. He never confirmed or denied if
Is
that
there another
was
Alan?
accurate.
Is there another Alan?
Not that I know of.
No. I tried to look at the roster system and stuff, and it took me around in circles. What does that say? The behaviour of dogs will drag their prey up high to behind their prey from other dogs. So, but wasn't she found leaning against a tree? Did you not say?
That's what they said. That she was
Yeah.
leaned up against a tree. She was propped up against a tree. She wasn't leaned up against a tree. It's not like she crawled up
Yeah.
there and leaned up against it herself. Somebody propped her body up against the tree after they cut her biceps open.
So there
to
was
lure in the dogs.
multiple
So
witnesses.
whatever had happened had already happened. And they were just trying to destroy the evidence, is what my conclusion comes to.
So
No body, no crime, right? So if we can get the fucking starving ass dogs to eat her.
So what the allegations are is that
It
she
sucks, man.
hit by a
Ugh.
car. Do we know who owned the car?
The fella she was dating, I reckon. The one that,
You're in Greg.
no, Greg was her ex. Greg's the
No,
one that's
Greg
trying to
is
solve
ex.
the murder.
Oh, okay.
He's not from here. Yeah.
Oh, so you think it was
The
the current
Wade guy.
Oh,
The Wade
okay.
character, the one that says, the one that had sent messages saying you won't be with any other man. I'll kill you first. The one who had threatened her multiple times, and everybody knew she was in a fucking domestic torture ship with.
Have I still got? Let me have a look. I've got a couple of text messages. One, I'm not sure who it's from, but it says, "Hey, bro, why would you say that? Why would you accuse me of some shit like that when it's fucking plain to anyone with a brain that Wade killed her and I wasn't even there?" Next
I think
one.
I don't
That
know
must
if
be
that's
Greg.
from Greg or from Carlos, but I think that's a messages between the two.
When it happened, oh yes, this is Carlos. Okay.
Okay.
When it happened, I
Carlos to
showed
Greg,
up.
possibly. Yeah.
When it happened, I showed up after and wouldn't let him leave before the cops came. He tried to run. He took a shower and everything. I didn't and would not even consider being. Hang on, next one.
That's something else. They're kind of all mixed up. The way they got sent to us,
Yeah.
they're kind of all in a pile. You can tell that they were anxious and just in a hurry to be like, somebody please look at this. So they require some combing over. I apologize for that.
I was told they ran her over and showered her and then mentioned her shoe. There was only one. You're very welcome. They do this to others if they get by here. The next woman is in trouble, whoever she is. Godspeed. I don't know who that was from.
That's fucking creepy.
Yeah. And then everything out.
The
up
one
to
shoe? Did you say one shoe?
Yeah.
Okay, note that mentally, Taya. Okay.
Everything out to dry up to come get paint from my garage was his story. I heard the cops know it's him and they watching and surveilling him in my house ever since. I hope they do. I hope they get my every.
I think that he was trying to do talk to text, and with our thick accents, and everybody's not very literate here either. So
Let me just go and have a look on my
it can
drive.
be a little difficult. I know it's a little hard to. That's something else. You got to decode it before you got to translate it before you can even decode it.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm just seeing if we've got any more of them saved.
I
on
love
my
our accents and dialects and our people. But in cases like this, it does make things a little stickier. It's harder to figure it out.
Brandon, have you got anything that you might want to add from that Greg has sent you at all, or that you can share?
Most of the messages that you've read is like, you know, what he had sent me, and just in talking that, you know, him and her were like, you know, I think they moved from Detroit down here together. You know, they had a long history. You know, they really cared about each other. It just, you know, things come between them, you know.
It was from what you told me, he thought that they were soulmates. Yeah,
soulmates. Yeah,
yeah, like they were just like estranged soulmates that they would either someday come back together or meet in another lifetime. You know, but that kind of lifelong love kind of thing.
But they were also, even though they were broke up, they were friends, and she really trusted him. So she confided in him.
He helps take care of her kids and stuff too. Like he's a very big part of her life. Or he is still. Like he's a very big part of her legacy, you know? I don't know. I'd like to get him on to talk to us.
Yeah, well, I did invite him, and Brandy reached out, but I don't think he got back to us, did he?
He will eventually.
Yeah.
He will eventually when he's ready. Yeah.
What else have I got in here? I really would like to listen to that 911 call. I wonder who it was.
But yeah, like once you do talk to him, it starts to fill in some of the gaps and make some things make sense. Like, you know, how the relationship dynamics worked and, you know, their contact and what was weird to him and unexpected to him and, you know, the parts that just didn't fit, the cops that wanted to talk to him, the cops that did not want to talk to him or investigate. That's important, I think. The ones that he said that Mickey was the only one that wanted to even look at the evidence. That says a lot about the rest of the fucking force, don't it?
Yeah.
Like shit, for real?
I don't know, Edith, where the autopsy report is. It's very, very difficult to get anything
that I might be able to access that through Mama. We can ask her. Let me see. I think I did ask her for that already, and she might have sent us something in the drive.
Oh, really?
She said, I think she said that. Hang on a minute. Let me look and see what she said.
Because you're in contact with Trina's mother, aren't you? I'll have a look and see
Yes,
if.
yes, I am. So I sent her a link. It was last minute though. I didn't prepare her beforehand for this, but I told her if she wants to get in the comments later, or if she's welcome to hop in and correct us on anything, or help, like say her piece or whatever, at any time. So I sent her the link and stuff, but I don't think she's seen it yet. So hang on
No,
just a minute. Let me see.
nothing's been added. So she's originally came down from Detroit. Is that?
Yeah, well, I don't know if she was born and raised there but she spent a lot of her like teenage years.
Here's a little
what
snippet.
Grace says.
Ooh, here's something. She said, whatever happened with the lawsuit or the new attorney, I tried to give Matt Butler all my screenshots, but he said he wasn't allowed to investigate the case because they had called an outside prosecutor. Matt Butler refused to look at the evidence because they had called an outside prosecutor, she said.
But it never got prosecuted. Never went to court, did it?
No.
No.
No one was ever charged.
Not unless it didn't.
No, and now there are more characters involved in this too. There were other things that go along with this. There had been other people that had threatened to hurt her. There was other things going on. I don't know if I should say that name right now, to be honest.
That's fine. Don't say the name.
Okay.
But
but somebody, this is from her mom. She said, the trooper told me when I asked him to ask around where Carlos had the dogs, as he had before, he told me that they would lie on them. Carlos had told her that they would lie on him, right? And the dogs. So she said, I called him to tell him that blank, redacted for now, had been saying he was going to hurt her. He was with me all night. I didn't know what happened to her. I believed it was the dogs until I talked to the trooper, and I wanted peace for her and myself. But what he said to me kept rolling over in my mind. Too many things don't make sense. I could not believe he made sly remarks about her to a mother who had just the trooper was very disrespectful to her mom.
wow.
Okay, it's what this is. She says, I also could not believe that he made sly remarks about her to a mother who had just lost her child. And I wasn't really giving any, she said, I didn't give it any thought at the time. But now I see the mentality. And I said, after speaking to Matt Butler was another story.
It sounds like the state was pushing him away, so he didn't investigate. Just quietly.
I have got some screenshots here.
Can you put them in the... Let me get rid of some of the stuff on the stage.
When she first found out, somebody, I think it was some kinfolk, had messaged her and said something that, like, hey, I heard that Trina passed away. This was to her mother.
Mm-hmm. So she doesn't believe that it was the dog attack. Didn't you say that she had a cut down either arm from like shoulder to elbow, exposing the bicep?
Yes, but here's what this first person that told her mother, the person that informed her mom that she had died, thought that she had overdosed. Okay, so that's another aspect to it.
They're making it up as they go along.
On Doty Creek, okay, that's what the cousin said whenever she talked to her mom, when she tried to reach out to her mom and say, hey, I heard about Trina, like what's happening. They told us that she overdosed. They found her overdosed. The mom said, no, She did not. They said it was an animal attack, or they said drug overdose or an animal attack. And then she got back again
Really?
with another
Really?
message after and said they told her animal attack. So like she was following up with the message saying like they said overdose, then they said no animal attack, and then the mom confirmed they said animal attack. So
There's a
that
little
was
bit of
like the
difference.
official story they were giving her loved ones was animal attack.
Yeah, they started off with
But
the narrative, the standard. Everyone dies of an overdose in Letcher County.
Right. That's, what makes it so mistrust, which story, because
Yeah.
everybody's death has two stories,
Right from the get. Right from the
hey,
get-go. Yeah.
listen what her mom said. This proves they lied. Wade Trent told that she left the house at 8:30. The law and the coroner repeated this in their records. This text shows that she was gone at 7:13. The text
Oh.
that she's talking about said that Trina's grandson was there at 6:15. She said, I saw it and tried to tell the trooper, and he didn't want to hear. He didn't want to hear it. We're trying to find that 6:15 one. She's trying to find that text message to prove that Trina was
To Austin.
when she left the house and everything.
So she was texting Austin before she left. The grandson.
Yeah, but the guy said that she had already left, or that she didn't leave until like 8:30. But Trina was telling him, they have the last messages from her, like where she was at and things
Yeah.
that don't match up with what they're saying.
What happened with her phone? Did they ever find her phone?
I don't know that. That's a good question.
Oh. Because they would have been able to track that on the locations. Like,
Yeah, you would think. But I mean, you got to take into account too that location is spotty at best here, and GPS isn't always accurate. Like it might show somebody that I'm 4 fucking hollers down the road in a different area code.
yeah. Who
You know,
leaves their house to go, walk down the road and doesn't take their phone though?
not many. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially, no, you don't. Mm. Yeah, but like you were saying, like, yeah, I keep coming back to that part about her being propped up against a tree like that with meat exposed to draw in the dogs. Like, what happened to her before that? Like, okay, I get that that's your official story. Thank you for telling us what happened to her body. Now, can you tell us who fucking killed her?
Okay, well, wait a minute.
You
Right
know?
there, was she over an embankment, or was
Up
she
the hill.
Or
against
was
the
she
tree?
up the hill on a tree? Right. Which is it?
And of course, you can't get any of the investigation reports. You can't get the coroner's report. You can't get anything.
No, there's no way of hardly getting records for any of it.
Yeah. But there were multiple people that that came forward saying that they heard something being hit by a car, yeah, and then being dragged.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of them was a minor, so they've got nothing.
One of them was a kid that just fucking happened to fucking see what happened. You know.
So
But
she was found at 1 a.m. So this would have happened around the 7:30, 8:30 mark.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And he says that she left at 8:30, but mom and grandson said that she was already gone at 7:13. But he says that she was there until 8:30.
So the phone is gone.
I'd like to know the last time that the phone pinged. That would be cool to know.
Yeah.
Like if the phone got destroyed or ran over or something.
Yeah.
Well, listen,
You know what I mean? Or broken.
I thought of something too. When my middle child was hit by a car, right? When the car hit him, it knocked him out of his shoe. Only one of them, though, on the side he was hit on.
Yeah.
And so when they mentioned the one shoe, when they mentioned the one shoe a while ago, it made me think, because we didn't find his other shoe either. I mean, it literally knocked him out of it, but it was just one boot. So,
It's funny you
know,
should say that because
Yeah.
the Karen Reid trial with the police officer that was allegedly left in the snow to die, the lead detective on that case, who's now no longer employed by the Massachusetts Canton State Police, he basically turned up at he didn't go to the crime scene. He turned up at the hospital where the officer was pronounced dead. Basically, so they had to warm him back up again to pronounce death before, so they could do that. Like, that's part of their protocol. So poor bugger had to be attempted to be revived. And he was on the Lucas machine for over an hour. So like 3,600 compressions by this machine, basically. But the reason that they said that it was a vehicle strike was because he only had one sneaker on.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. That's weird.
I thought of that a while ago when you said one shoe. Make a note of it. It hit me, Jake. The one shoe, because when he got
that's
hit
what
by
I
the
was
car,
thinking. It was, that's why I was like, make a note of that. Like, there's something to that, but I didn't think it was going to be that there's that's a common.
Yeah.
Is that like a common thing to happen
Well,
in a car when somebody's hit by a car? Hello.
hello.
Yeah, so he didn't go to the crime scene. He didn't do any other investigating. He turns up at the hospital, takes one look. He's got one shoe on. That's it. Karen did it, and she hit him with the car.
Did you know the other day in Australia, in Melbourne, a lady was jogging along the side of the road and she got hit by a car and she was knocked out of both her shoes.
Oh, fancy that.
There you go. Just a little point of reference.
Fancy that.
It depends on the speed of the car, probably.
Yeah, and I'd say I guess the side it hits on. That's
It's
such
a
a
common
weird
thing,
phenomenon. Wow.
It's a common thing, but it's certainly not, beyond a reasonable doubt type of evidence,
Right.
to send someone to jail for life for murder. Like, So Edith has a good question. Did her mum go and see the body? Like, was she allowed to go and view her?
That I don't know. I don't know. I can ask.
Yeah. John. Okay.
I will put that on my list of things to ask.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and if anybody has any questions or anything like that, I'm not thinking of, please put them forth, and I will make note of them, and I will find out. We will seek the answers that we seek. Yeah, that's what we're here for, trying to find the answers. So yeah, if I'm not thinking of something or any of us hasn't noticed something, please ask.
Where can I get a map of the area to show that road? So Doty Creek, Jeremiah, Kentucky map. Let's have a look, see what I can come up with. I'd like to be able to see. Oh dear. I need a satellite view, I think, like a live
That is an
satellite.
absolutely beautiful little holler. By the way, like, all our little hollers are beautiful to me, but that one is exceptional.
How do you get onto like the interactive live?
Not a clue.
Live.
Like Google Live?
Yeah.
Listen, dude, our Google satellite hasn't been updated since like 2012. Okay? It still shows my husband's four-wheeler he had when he was a teenager sitting in the fucking driveway. When you go on Google Maps, Google Earth.
Yeah, but it'll show the countryside.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah.
My last house was not even on a map. It was not on the GPS at all. So, like,
live Google Maps. Let's see what I can do with this.
Well, a neat
good
thing.
luck and have fun with that. And then we'll go out on foot and try to do it in person one day.
A neat fact about Letcher County is we didn't even get 911 service until 90. Oh my gosh, it was in the 90s. When I was a kid, you
I
had to learn.
remember when it happened, my mommy made me go outside with her and spray paint a huge number on the side of her fucking trailer. And my
Right.
sister was like, it don't have to be that big, Mom. And she was like, they said they have to see it from the road and that's a far way away. What if they don't have glasses? So she painted it like the size of the fucking trailer. I remember it.
Yeah. So we didn't have, like, most of the haulers just with nicknames. Nobody knew the roads. Nobody knew names. It's, like I said, it's just nicknames, or so-and-so
Yeah.
lives there, or, so,
Or landmarks.
we're far
landmarks
behind.
and names. There's like this one hauler up the road here. It's like when you ask a local for directions to my old house, like you ask my husband directions to where we used to live, and he'd be like, the second driveway past D. Smith. You put D. Smith's in, they ain't no fucking D. Smith's. There's no such thing. Like the locals know where it's at, but that's not on a map. You know what I mean? We got all these strip jobs and such too.
Doty Creek.
They make roads where they need them, and then they cover them back up and plant trees over top of them. So,
Ooh. All right. Let's have a look. See. Oh. Okay. Oh, go away.
can you turn on like the terrain? Because that makes it look like it's a city and a flat surface.
Terrain. All right.
It's a little better.
Doty Creek.
It's deep forest.
Yeah, you're talking about deep woods here.
So, do you know Sunny Point Road? Like, am I close?
Yeah, that's
Am
up
I going the
in.
right way?
I don't know which.
Bruce Drive, Right Fork Creek Road. Have I gone too far?
Too far, I think. To the left. Go back to the left. Left-hand fork.
Sunny Point Road.
See, I don't know the fucking road names, dude. I just know, like.
They said
Yeah, I'm no
Doty
help
Creek
here.
Road.
I'm geographically illiterate. And this is probably why, because we don't even have. I don't know the road. I ain't no better than the 911 system.
And I have no idea what
But I can take you there. If you want to go.
More.
Yeah.
No,
Listen, we've got there's these places scattered throughout the Appalachian Mountains. Just while you're looking for that, just here's a little history lesson.
That's pretty good.
That's much better right there. There you go. But the Indians, the way they traveled on foot and the way they looked at directions and things is that up on the peaks of these little mountains, each one of these little mountains, they would have stacks of stones. They would stack the stones up like chimneys. And those were landmarks for like traveling. That's how you knew whether if you're going to fucking like going into Virginia, you need to go over here where these twin peaks are. You follow the chimneys. You follow that, the mountain ridges or the mountain peaks. So that's more how my geography works.
So Doty Creek Road is quite long.
Yeah, it's a long little holler.
So you come in from.
There's an old schoolhouse up there that they do like pottery lessons and stuff in now. That is so cool.
So you come in from Rockhouse Creek Road?
Yeah, see, that's something else. Like, nobody calls this Rockhouse Creek Road either. This is 7.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, Jeremiah, it's just 7.
So that's the main road through Jeremiah, is it?
Yep. Now, where Doty Creek's on that side, where it would be like on, on the other side there, I live straight across.
Look at
right
that.
There's my house. Almost. Right. Nope. Go up a little further, top right. Right there, you see the green roofs?
That one?
Black Bottom Road, where it says black. Nope, down. Right there. That's me.
Woohoo! So behind you is all.
That's my pasture. Yeah, that's our pasture where our goats live.
What's that there?
It's wilderness. That's a cemetery, family cemetery.
Oh, wow. So you're not far from
And
the
if you
cemetery.
go straight up over that mountain, you can drive up that cemetery road and take that old logging road that's not even on that map and come out in Leslie County. There's no
Wow.
road. It's not. You're not going to find it on the map.
No, but it's all
But
forest
it comes
behind.
out in Leslie County. And then you can go like the other direction and come out on the other end of Whitesburg.
Wow.
But yeah, all that right there from that corner. See that first house you pointed to? That's my husband's family's property there. Our
From
pond
here.
is on up there where we plant our garden. Is up there on the right. Yeah. That's my
So
house.
all of this area here
Yeah.
and back.
The whole, yeah, this whole mountain pretty much.
Is it and this as well?
Yeah.
And people just rent the houses?
No, well, Grandma's house got flooded in the flood, so it's under renovation, and I don't think they've decided what they're going to do with it yet. But his dad lives in one of the houses, and the other building is a barn where chickens and rabbits and stuff live, and one of them is a garage where they work on everything we do all the farm stuff out of, store feed
Yeah.
and shit. And then up here beside of my house, there's another barn on the left,
From here.
right there. That's my goat barn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then all this that goes up that little road where it says C1, what's that say? C1 something? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it says C1 something, but that's not its
When
name.
we see you sitting on the porch, you're sitting here and looking down at the goats.
Yeah, looking over at the goats. My side porch goes right down that side. Yep.
Yeah.
You see it? Yeah. Yeah. And my little smokehouse out there that we're turning into our workshop and apothecary and podcast studio and teenager hangout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you were showing us the moon, you were looking up this way towards the back here.
Yeah, up on the east
In
end.
this corner?
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So how far away is Doty Creek Road from you?
Go straight across.
There it is.
There's your
right
main
there.
road. There's Doty. Yep.
Okay.
Whenever a bad storm rolls in, you can tell how bad your storm's going to be by looking at what direction it's coming from. If
Was
it's
that
coming out of
creek-
Doty Creek, you're in for a fucking hellcat.
So
Fucking cattywampus of a storm. Like that motherfucker's going to thunder and lightning and maybe hell on you. And
So the
might
creek
drop some
runs
snow in the
right-
middle of summer. You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it comes out of Doty Creek, it's a bad storm coming.
So that creek runs right beside the road there.
Yeah,
Which is
and it
Carlos'
goes up in the holler, which forks, and there's a couple different forks. Now, our old place
Do you know where Carlos's house is on here?
is on the left-hand side. He lives in the head of the holler. I don't know which fork. But I think it's all the way up, ain't it, Brandy? Like way
So
up.
Go to the
Yeah.
fork.
It'd be way in there. Yeah.
So there's one. Payne
Yeah,
Drive.
and that's where the school and stuff is. Like the first little forks and stuff, that's where the little school is. There's that they do the pottery lessons and wood carving lessons, and it's so charming and so country, and I just love it. But yeah,
That's another
that
fork.
mountainside that you're seeing to the left,
Yep.
that's what connected to our other property where we used to live.
Okay.
If you go up that mountain and straight over, that's my yard or my old yard.
So we don't know
That's
what
where all my
number.
amanita mushrooms grow, is on the top of that ridge line. That's where I forage. So, like,
So-
whenever they were saying there's wild fucking dogs or coyotes or something out here, like, I
Yeah.
was freaking out. You know what I mean? Because I crawl across these mountains like I belong in them.
So this is right fork Doty Creek Road.
Yeah. I don't know which one he lived in, though. We probably need to look at that. And
Yeah. They go forever.
yeah.
And that ends there.
And that's just what was mapped. Like, that's not
Yeah.
even what they come in with dozers and shit. And, like, they'll carve out gas wells, logging companies, fucking
Tobacco.
coal companies. Listen, they'll come in on the backside of your mountain and cut in a road, steal your lumber, and tap your gas well, go back out and fucking cover up the road like they never even been there, and you not even know it until fucking decades later when you realize all your mineral rights and everything's been stolen. Like, this is wilderness, you know?
There's a tobacco shop though.
Yeah.
The smoke shack.
There's a what? A tobacco
smoke-
shack?
Hidden smoke shack. Tobacco shop.
That has to be somebody's she shed. I don't know what else
Temporarily
that could
closed.
be. That's cool though. I like it.
Says temporarily closed. So have you driven up all of these? Like, have you
Yeah.
been up all
We
these
used to
roads?
hang out up in there. I used to stay with a friend up there. Desto's got family up
Lord.
there. It's literally right across the road. Like it looks like it's a long way on the map, crawling along. But like when you're on a 4-wheeler or in a car or something,
Yeah.
it's not.
So basically, you're down here. Is that right? And
Yeah.
that's Doty
And
Creek
that's
Road.
straight across. Yeah.
So Black Bottom Road is around here somewhere, or is that Black Bottom Road there?
I can't see that close.
I think the Kentucky River runs between
The river runs
Ty
between.
and
Yeah, like I have to
between
walk through
Ty
the
and Doty
creek to
Creek.
get over. But that's where the river forks too. Like that, there's a big creek that comes out of there that was absolutely fucking hollowed out after the flood. That looked wild over there. The way the water from the mountainside when it came off the mountains, it literally just dug trenches into their creek beds and stuff over there. It was wild looking. I got video of all that too. Like I can show you that stuff.
Have you?
Yeah. The way that the community recovered is absolutely commendable.
Got it on your phone? Like, can you share it?
I don't think it's on this one. I gotta find it.
I've got the pictures of my trailer
Brandy's
floating
probably
away.
got some. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
They're in my drive folder in one of them. Because I've been through 3 or 4 phones since then.
Can you put them on the Google
But
Drive?
yeah, I can upload them to our drive. Yeah. Oh,
Nothing.
we got pictures of how it took. There was so much water. We had to swim in to get my father-in-law. He was
Bloody
stuck in
hell.
his house. A landslide, the mud, the fucking mountainside washed off and filled up his living room and washed off his front porch with
Our
mud
neighbors,
rocks. Like the whole mountain landed in his living room.
our
So-
neighbors saved our lives too. They tried to get me out in a kayak. It capsized. I've almost drowned, but if it hadn't been for our
It was
neighbors,
scary.
we would, all of us would have died. We had the baby and everything. So
Yeah.
it
Girl, it
was
was
rough.
Leah was messaging me. She was in Jenkins, which is like 30, 45 minutes away from me. And she was like, Mama, the water's coming up in the car. The water's coming up in the car. And I could see the water rising from where we were at. Our trailer was up on a hill, but I could see it rising in the river and up into the road and stuff. And then all of a sudden, a fucking propane tank floats down the river. And the next thing I know, it's just all water all across the entire neighbor's field. It about washed off their trailer and everything. But here comes a whole fucking house. A whole house just floating right down the road. Boom, 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 like it wasn't nothing. And I was like, oh my God. So I went to message Leah and I was like, where are you at? Go to grandma's. Because I was thinking grandma's house is up on a mountain. You know, go up go up, up, up. And our Wi-Fi service got cut. There was nothing. Radio fucking silence for 4 days.
Oh.
Radio silence for 4 days.
didn't
I
know
thought
if
my
you were right
children
or
were all
not.
drowned and that I was like the only one left alive in the world at one
Oh,
point.
that's cool.
It was scary. It was scary. And there wasn't no way to get there. You couldn't even fucking get out of the holler or get out of Jeremiah. The water was up so high it filled up all of Black
I
Bottom.
sent you mine on Facebook there, Jody.
Okay.
Yeah, but my poor father-in-law, he was like, I can't get out. And we had to go and put a ladder down so that he could climb through the window. The water was up in his house. The mountainside had already landed in his living room, and his little dog, Sassy, she come out first, and I grabbed her first, and she latched around my neck, and I had never felt a dog hug me so tight in my life. But that baby didn't let me put her down for like 8 hours, and my arms have never been as sore. Like from just carrying that poor dog because she was so traumatized. She didn't want to be set down even once we got back on dry land. She was like, no, you're holding me. And she's a heavy little booger. But we got out.
We couldn't get our pets out, but they was alive. We come back and found them alive. They sitting on the bed waiting on us.
Yeah, thank God. Brandy says she opened the door and there they all sit. Just waiting like, oh, thank goodness. But now, remember, Brandy, you pointed out something yesterday that was odd about that whole flood. Something I noticed is that everything had a stench of diesel, and it was like a coating of grease.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
I thought it was just because we had that garage with all them old tools and shit in there,
no,
that it had just fucking washed like a washing machine, and we swam through it.
I
But then
inhaled so
Brandy
much
said,
of it, it blistered the inside of my mouth. It blistered my eyes.
Oh,
and
'Cause
she was in an entirely different section of the county.
I went
Like the
under.
water that hit her was not the same water that hit us.
yeah.
I went completely. I mean, because when the water hit my body, it was so cold. I let my breath out, and so I was fighting to get back up. And when I got up, they had to wash my eyes out. I couldn't see because there was so much diesel fuel in it.
Oh.
And the baby ended up, her eyes, I mean, oh my gosh, they were awful. I mean, but it was just this real stench of diesel fuel. None of us had, I mean, they thought the power lines were going to come down. So they kept saying, there's fuel in the water. If the power lines snap, we could get a fire. And so they made all of us climb up the mountain to get back out of the way. It was a nightmare. And they dropped water into us around 2:00 that day. And then they finally got some people to volunteer with boats and stuff with the state police to come in and start taking us out.
Jesus Christ.
It was bad. It was a
They
rough
had
day.
people on kayaks. There was people driving kayaks up and down the roads, like rescuing people and driving in supplies and stuff to people who couldn't get out.
So, where did the diesel come from?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, what the hell do you mean?
Don't know.
It was in Whitesburg too. Like, we're a long way from Whitesburg. And if it really, listen, they said that it was because that dam broke over in Jackson. If that's what happened, was that fucking pond full of diesel fuel then? Because the whole county got coated in it.
How do I make this bigger?
So you know what I mean? Did it come from that lake where the dam broke? But most of our water here came off the mountaintops.
We were still inside at that time, right there. We were still inside, had no idea what was going on because there's no emergency warning system.
Right. There's no EBS or anything that's accurate or.
You see, my daughter-in-law's, my car is about under my son's truck. My daughter-in-law's car is gone. It's gone floating away. And we're inside at that time.
In this house here.
I have a picture of a trailer that's about that same size going down the road, like floating down the road.
It might be mine.
Not a picture, but a video. No, I mean, I've got a whole video of it just floating by.
That's the inside of my living room.
I gotta find it for you.
Open the door, other people's stuff come flooding through our house. Some of that furniture don't even belong to me.
Yeah.
That's Savannah?
That's Savannah, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, it was, and that stuff was flooding in.
And you're going to think everybody here's already in poverty anyway.
That's my refrigerator. I picked my refrigerator up and just threw it backwards.
Yeah. So we still have a lot of people. FEMA gave campers to people.
Yeah, I had one for a little
Brandy
while.
had one. Tell us about that, Brandy. Like, how long did you get to keep it? Because some people got to keep theirs, and then some people had to give theirs up. And I didn't really understand how that worked. But maybe you can shine some light on that.
They told us that we could have them as long as we needed them. And it didn't work out like that. They started about 9 months in, trying to get everything, trying to get everybody situated somewhere, but there wasn't nowhere for us to go because everything got destroyed. So they was having us apply in other counties. And, I mean, just, there wasn't no options. I mean, nothing. Right. There wasn't no places to rent. There wasn't nowhere to go.
Everything was destroyed.
It was just destroyed.
But now, too, listen, some people, some people did get FEMA campers and stuff, but everybody didn't. Okay, there was, I know personally multiple families that have 1, 2, 3, 5 children who had to sleep in a tent
Tent or a
into the
tarp.
following winter with a foot of snow on the ground with all their babies tucked inside that tent because they
Some of
still
them,
didn't have a place to live after the flood.
yeah,
Mm.
some of them had tarps. I mean, they were families living under tarps, and
It looked like something out of an apocalypse movie.
then to find out though that all that money come flooding into the county, yet all of us had to leave
Yeah.
because there was nowhere for us to go or
And
no
that's something
help.
else. Once it floods, they claim it as floodplain and you can't build there no more. You can't get insured there no more. So that land is useless.
Did you have
Yeah,
insurance,
nope,
Randy?
not a bit. I mean, on our vehicles, but I mean, there wasn't nothing. They were paid for, so it was
Yeah.
just liability.
And
And
like for my father-in-law, he had three different homes that were damaged with the flood, but FEMA only helped him repair one of them.
So is
They told
that
him
how?
he had to choose one of the 3 homes that he was the owner of to repair. And
Yeah.
they only gave him a small portion of what it cost to actually fix it. He just put the rest of his floor down in his living room the other day.
So
We went
is
and
that
looked
how?
at it today.
Randy, or did they knock it down?
let's see. Now with us, they walked in and it was a very very insulting. It was like $1,700, and I told her, I said my sectional costed more than that.
Some people only got offered 700 the first time. I think
For
some
Yeah,
their
people
house?
took the 700,
some
and
people did.
then others held out a little longer and got offered a little bit more.
For their house, $700.
But they
Yeah.
made you fill out a loan application for the Small Business Administration, the Small Business Loan Administration. You had to fill out a loan for them first, which I didn't understand.
What?
And then you got denied by them, and then FEMA would help after that, but you had to be denied.
Okay, now get this. Over the last 8 months or so, FEMA's been coming in and offering people $100,000 for the same exact properties they offered $700 for at the time of the flood.
Yeah. But
Get that.
guess who owns it now? The county
And guess
most
what
of the time.
happens? Whenever
Of
FEMA
course.
buys that property, if they take the $100,000 to sell it out, which you better, because that land ain't worth nothing anymore, as far as the government's concerned. But the thing is that once they buy it, nothing can ever be built there again, ever. They demolish it, whatever homes are on it, whatever businesses stood there, don't matter. FEMA fucking bulldozes it, and then we'll never build or develop it ever again.
Is your house still standing?
Nope. It floated, like literally floated down and hit the next couple of trailers and knocked them loose. And then they stopped. So it was a complete loss. We got out that day with the clothes on our back. That's all I got out with. And so to be offered $1,700 was like a
And
spit in the face. You know, it was just like, are you kidding me? You know,
and the punishments are still coming because, okay, you got to think many of the trailers just washed off like that, but so did whole houses, like fucking 2-story, 3-story houses washed off the map. What's fucked up is that Kentucky Power sent electric bills out to those houses for hundreds of dollars every month for months thereafter.
oh, I'll tell you one better than that. I had,
My friend up the road here, yeah, they were getting a bill for $300, and there was not even a house attached to the fucking pole.
well, here's you one better than this. I literally got a $800 water bill because my trailer disconnected and floated off, and I guess the water line ran. So,
Yeah, because if their water lines break, we're responsible to pay for it.
$800 bill and lost everything. It was kind of a kick.
They're fucking people over for real.
Let me see. Where
Like
do
the
these guys?
Masons are only fucking skimming the surface of how they're really fucking us in our land over here. This is like, I don't know, modern day displacement. Is this how I don't know. Maybe this is what evolved after the Trail of Tears. That this is how they just do it now. Something's going on bigger though. for them to just keep raping and raping and raping the same people. I mean, the same people over and over. Like, you've already took their homes. The flood already fucking took everything. So why is the power company, the water company, the fucking courthouse, and every goddamn body else fucking standing there with their fucking hands out? Y'all seen the flood too, didn't you? You seen the poverty here. You seen the problems. But you're still standing there with your fucking hands out. I think that's a fucking moral issue, to be honest.
I don't understand why they're asking you to make a business loan application.
I
when you're
kept
not
I
a
don't
my paper.
either.
Listen, I kept my paperwork. I actually have it over here where I have the form I had to fill out, and then the denial. It took them like 48 hours to deny me. The Red Cross wouldn't help me. They gave me a cane. I appreciate that, but that's all they could help me. Because I drawed too little, which I didn't understand that. So I said, okay. But then the small business loan denied. So then you get an offer from them once you're denied. And, people were talking, oh man, they're, this and that. And so my offer was $1,700. And I was like, no. Yeah,
There's gotta be
I
there
don't
has
even
to
think
be-
so.
There's a reason for it. They're doing something dodgy.
Right.
Yeah, they definitely are. I'm glad that, yeah.
This
But
doesn't
now
make
some
sense.
people
Edith pointed out,
did get
Edith asked.
approved. Some people did get approved by the small business loan, and they did get like $40,000.
Yes. And
Oh,
then
was
They
some
did.
people got assistance through like farm aid programs and things like that. And there was a lot of like churches and relief groups that did come in and provide assistance, and they helped a lot. I don't
But
know how we
I
would have
just
rebuilt
thought
this
there was
place without the
something.
volunteers.
But we had
But that's nothing to do with
during that
FEMA.
time
Yeah.
that was really bad was right after our flood. School went back in. A lot of the volunteers had to leave, and then you had there was a hurricane or something happened, or tornado. One of the two happened right after it, real close to us, and so it took total attention away.
Yeah, it wasn't long after our
everything.
floods and stuff whenever that North Carolina hurricane hit, the Appalachian hurricane. Was it? Wasn't that
Well,
just
they think that Hurricane Helene, the storm or something. Not Helene. No, that's a thing in Texas. Never mind.
No,
No, they
that's
think
the
that
one. It's Hurricane Helene that hit North Carolina, ain't it?
I can't remember, but they think it had
I think
something
it
to
is.
do with the flood, like the amount of rain that we got or something was. Well, they called it a biblical flood. Is what they had called it. Said
Yeah.
they called it the 1,000-year flood.
Uh-huh.
And so that our community hadn't seen, because they've had floods before in like 57, 70
Yeah.
something.
I got
can't remember
pictures
what the
back
year.
from the one that happened in the 70s. I got pictures of this whole region here in Jeremiah and Black Bottom, like old pictures that
And they said that what happened to us in 22 was nothing. I mean, it was
the
those
waters
floods
were
was
even
nothing.
higher then than they were in 22.
But the water tore the roads up. You had Neon was separated from the rest of the world at the time because the road broke at Seco. So you had, they couldn't get ambulances in. They had to go all the way around through Jenkins to try to get to Neon. I mean, it was just.
Yeah.
It was just it looked like a war zone. They had to put curfews on us. You couldn't be out past 9. The military was in. It was just weird. It was just a very weird time.
I need to dig into this a little bit further, I think, but yeah, something's not right.
They took us all up to the rec center, and that's where you had to go in and fill out the forms and stuff. So I kept copies of everything. So because I always thought that was so odd. Like, what does the Small Business Administration have to do with FEMA and funding disaster relief? I don't know. So I kind of made me scratch my head on that one. So, but yeah, I got the papers for that. So
we were going through all the funding stuff the other day There was one for the floods, wasn't there? There was a big grant that came through under
big
Title,
one. Yeah.
under the Title 14 funding, wasn't it? I'm sure there was. Title 14 flood funding, Kentucky. Kentucky.
Brandy,
Yeah.
did you know that there was other title funding other than Title IV that they
Mm-mm.
make off our kids?
Oh, Title 4, sorry.
It's not just Title IV. There's also like a Title 5, 6, 7, I think. I don't know how
Really?
many there are, but there are other ways that they monetize our children by taking them, and that they monetize our persons by imprisoning us and charging us with felonies.
Yeah. There's
The
always a money approach. I mean,
the yeah, but the Title IV, that's only like that's just the tip of the iceberg, apparently, to the money that they're making off of us.
that don't surprise me.
State match funding is available for flood recovery. Who can apply? So this doesn't say anything about applying for a business loan. It'll be sponsored. Grant funding. Appalachian Community Fund Technical Assistance Grants. Oh, look, there's another one. When is that? Maximum award amount 5 mil. Is it 5 mil? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 50 mil. Where did you all go? Have you left me? Or have I gone silent?
I'm here. I'm just
I'm
seeing
still
what
here
you're
too. I
saying.
was looking in my Google Photos and I'm not logged in the right account. I've got to go log in a different one. So I'm still here.
Funding for 50 million. Federal grant funding for the Economic Development Administration Disaster Supplement Grant Program in 23-24.
And then the county got hit again in 25, and they had to come back in again because they went and hired a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing to try to rebuild our roads and put culverts in and things that they didn't understand how, when it rains, how the water comes down from the mountains too. And so they didn't, it's like they didn't understand.
Yeah, that's something else. They fucked a bunch of shit up when they come in to try to fix it because they don't know how the fucking mountains work.
Did you see the Healing Appalachia grant program? Funding life-saving prevention, recovery and wellness programming across Appalachia and beyond, but heavily focused in Central, Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, East Tennessee, West Virginia. Additionally, Hope in the Hills funds music therapy and festival outreach. So they had a $15,000 grant available. When does that?
You never told about anything. You know, you have to ask. And a lot of people won't ask, you know.
Well, if you don't know about it, you don't ask.
Right.
Kentucky Grant Program 2024. Counties for Housing Solutions. There will be, in one of these, that for them to have actually applied for one of those grants, it would be there had to be that paperwork to do with the business, because they would have capped out all of their grants basically, and they were asking for more, and the only way they could ask for more is to do it that way. I bet you it's something to do with that. I can't find it again now. It's gone. Oh well. Oh, there it is there. Let me see. It doesn't actually have a date. Since 2018, Hope in the Hills has distributed more than 1 million to boots on the ground non-profits doing life-saving prevention, recovery, and wellness programs. Oh, really? We encourage all organisations in need to consider compatibility with our mission and apply using the form below. Please take the time to polish and review your request before submitting. We generate funds to support organisations that align with our mission to fuel recovery in the region. Each year we award tens of thousands of dollars to various recovery-related projects. There you go. You can apply under a healthy lifestyle. Taya?
Okay. I got a bunch of pictures for you from the flood, but I don't know where to put them. I'm going to send them on Messenger because I'm on my phone. I can't just screen share.
No, but if you know how you go to forward them to Messenger, just choose Google Drive instead of Messenger.
Okay.
Just slide across. And they'll go straight into the Google Drive and I can access them. I mean, I can download them from Messenger. It just takes a bit longer. That's all. But yeah, instead of sending it to Messenger, just choose the triangle. I wonder if you could apply for that under your like apothecary for healthy lifestyle. Or harm reduction. Yeah, you'd be an advocate for domestic violence. Get $15,000 for it. Well, there you go. There will have to be some kind of actually, should we watch that? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, I've lost it. Where'd you go? Oh.
Okay, I had to send them on Messenger because I'm out of storage and Google Drive is being a dick.
Oh, good.
It said could not upload, so I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
I need to clean out my fucking, yeah.
All right, so this is on one of the news stations, I think. Why are you going? Oh, I've got too many things open. Sorry. I'll close a few off. Okay, it should work now, I think. Where did I go? There. Okay. Come on, play. And play. And play. Oh, I don't like the wheel of death. The white wheel of death. Oh. Okay, it's working a bit better now. Where's the unmute button? There.
Destinations. Pick a flexible mobile data plan. Get the Saley eSIM deal now.
Kentuckians living in flood-prone areas are about to get a major financial leg up. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear said the money will help more than 600 families across 6 counties. Beshear said,
"Are you kidding me?"
He is sending more than $118 million to those counties, which include Pike, Floyd, Knott, Letcher, Perry, and McLean. The government plans to buy out properties from willing Kentuckians currently living in those flood-prone areas. State officials estimate these funds could help more than 600 homeowners move out of the floodplain. Most of this funding will come from the federal government and is in direct response to the floods Eastern Kentucky saw over the last year.
Didn't they build a couple of gated communities or
Terrence
something
Howard candidly
on higher ground? But who got to live there?
Where did all that
Did
money
Andy
go?
do that? He come here and cut ribbons and stuff for that, remember?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Let me look deeper into that. The governor come here to do like a groundbreaking ceremony, cut ribbons and stuff, saying that
It was with
he's going to
Homes
build these new
Incorporated.
homes.
It
He
was.
was going to build all these new homes to replace the homes lost.
Oh yes, that wasn't the Homes. He did come in for
No.
that though. But
Yeah,
this
that was
was
something
another.
totally. That was Andy.
This was another community they was going to do, if I wasn't mistaken, up there at Jenkins somewhere, and they were going to build a whole new community with apartments and places for all of us. And no, we never seen none of that. Never seen that either. That was during when everybody was in the campers and stuff.
Yeah,
because everybody was excited, thinking, well,
like,
they're
well,
going
there's
to build
hope.
something.
Yeah, they're going to build something. We're going to have a home. No,
And they did nothing.
nope. Some people lost their campers too. Had to give their camper back to FEMA and have been
Hello.
homeless ever since.
Well,
Like you got to think of that too. Like, look how many ladies I know. A few
yeah.
women who lost their homes, their family homes.
I was told I needed to go on my own because I wouldn't like it if I had to be removed. So I thought that kind of sounds bad, and so I went pretty quick. So
this was posted 4 days ago from WKYT about the funding.
FEMA sending nearly $23 million to help survivors of Hurricane Helene and other disasters in the Southeast.
Some of that money is coming to Kentucky. FEMA says about $2.1 million will fund disaster unemployment assistance in Florida, Kentucky, and Tennessee.
Ooh.
Another $2.4 million will support crisis counseling and mental health services in Georgia, Kentucky,
that'd be
and
nice.
Tennessee.
There you go.
If they handed me $2 million, do you know how many homes I would build?
Well, just the mental health services they're offering. It would have been nice, when we were all hovering every time a raindrop fell, wondering, oh crap,
Oh God, yeah. I still get stressed out when it starts raining hard.
Yeah.
The first thing he does, he monitors the weather like crazy. But the first thing he does when it starts raining, he goes out and gets his hoe out of the truck, starts going through, and he'll stand out there in the rain for hours, ditching to make sure the water goes where it's supposed to go, to make sure we don't lose our everything again.
Pick a flexible mobile data plan. Get the
I mean, but where is that
SALE
money?
email.
If they sent millions here to fix it, then why are there still homeless people? Why are there still people living in tents and in fucking campers and shit all
And
these years later?
This one's only 4 months ago, so.
From devastating storms and floods, Governor Beshear announced today $612,000 for the recovery efforts. It comes from Kentucky's SAFE program, which helps communities when federal funds aren't yet available. Whitesburg.
SAFE. That was wasn't that the main body of the funding for the MCHC? SAFE?
Was it, or was that SOAR?
SOAR, but I think they do have SAFE. Well, no, SOAR. It's SOAR.
I don't know. SOAR.
Received the largest share of $450,000 to address financial.
Will receive the largest share, $450,000, to address financial strain from disaster impacts. Perry County, Wheelwright, and Knott County will also receive funds. Since 2022, Beshear has awarded more than $143 million in disaster recovery funding to Eastern Kentucky.
How much?
Yep.
There are dramatic new images just in from the war in Iran that have.
Oh, you don't want that one. Go back. I'll play it again. I'll go into it again. Hang on.
Y'all.
Go to the end. Oh, got to go through
Because our people ain't been done just absolutely, pardon my French, shitty.
Y'all. Yeah.
It's
Like, if
putting it
you've seen the
mildly.
conditions that some of our people have to live in still right now.
And
Like, I
because
live
they
in
live like
absolute
that, they
luxury
lose their
compared to
kids.
what some people here live in. And
And
you don't
then
know like how grateful I am for that. But like I still look and think like I remember when I was in those conditions. And the thing is that there's been money to fix it.
Andy
There's been
Bashir.
money to make sure that everybody at least has a roof over their head. You tell me that millions of dollars, that's not enough money to make sure our small population has a roof over their head.
that we could remain a community and everybody not have to move because there's nothing to live in. You have 0 homes, you've built 0, you've added 0, and the flood took all of it away. What do? I mean, you have to leave.
Yeah.
And if you don't leave, like Ty said, you live in horrible conditions. And
so since 2022, Bashir was awarded has awarded more than 143 million.
Golly.
It's fucking sickening.
Yep.
It gives me a feeling. I can't even describe it. I can't even articulate.
It makes
what
me
that
want to
makes me
cry.
feel.
It makes me want to cry. I'm serious. I mean, and
the tears
flood
might come
victims.
first, but god
No,
damn that the fucking anger ain't behind it.
the flood
I'm
victims
mad.
were shamed. I feel like a lot of the flood victims, were shamed. Like, if you didn't own your home and you rented and you didn't have land to build
Then you're
back
just
on,
out in
and
the fucking dust. Like
they
then
treated
what?
us like refugees. I mean, honestly, that's how I felt. I mean, it was just like, here's your camper. Shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Don't ask for anything else. We're giving you the max. That's it. And you're treated like a second-class citizen. And it just, because you see all the nice communities getting rebuilt.
Yep.
And the people had the money to rebuild. And, the communities in Whitesburg. And then you have these other communities that still haven't built back, that are still struggling. And, it's heartbreaking.
This one was 3 months ago. This news.
To eastern Kentucky to help communities continue recovering from devastating storms and flooding. Governor Andy Bashir announced yesterday more than $612,000 in new funding. The money comes from Kentucky's SAFE program, which helps communities when federal funds are not yet available. Whitesburg will receive the largest share of $450,000 to help with the financial strain from disaster impacts. Wheelwright, as well as Perry and Knott counties, will also receive funds for infrastructure repairs and community development. Since 2022, more than $143 million in state aid has been awarded to eastern Kentucky.
And where has it gone?
What is that ERC fund? Is that got anything to do with the emergency in any way?
ERC fund?
Let's see. I get messages all the time and have since the flood talking about you have funds awaiting you in ERC or hang on. Let me look real quick if I can.
I want to have a look at this safe funding.
Wasn't that part of hang on.
All right, so 2022 was the floods, wasn't it? So
2022, and 2022, and then Letcher County got hit again in February of 25. Wasn't it, Ty? I think it's 25. This past February, I think.
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I think so. Right here, what Edith is saying here. She's talking about Andy Bashir. So he is dirty. He appointed Most of the officials in Letcher County, you know how we keep saying none of us have voted for any of these motherfuckers that are ruling our lives and controlling every aspect of them?
Yep, they're all appointed.
Hey, this is something important she's pointing out. Like, yeah, they've been appointed.
Yep. Edith, you need to watch our other stream where it says how they funnel money through Letcher County, and you will understand how
Once
that
you
works.
see the amount of money that really is getting funneled through here that our people see none of.
The amount of programs, federal programs that Letcher County apply for federal grants for that don't offer the programs themselves is ridiculous. Yeah. And that's how I think they're basically I think they're lining their pockets. So you know how you say everyone has been appointed in most of the officials in Letcher County. So those officials basically represent the wealthy families of Letcher County, from the coal mining days. So those wealthy families who own the monopoly of the businesses and the properties and everything else, basically I've sort of split them into two categories. One category is the dirty, filthy sexual predators, and the other one is the financial beneficiaries. So they pull these federal funds together, and if you're not having outrageous sex-fueled, drug-fueled parties, then you've got your hand out to turn your head and keep your mouth shut. That's simple as that. That's what they're doing, and it's all federal money. They bypass the fiscal court, so there is no real paper trail, and they launder it through none other than MCHC, just like that. But I've come up with a suggestion. I was talking to Brandy about it the other day. Ty, I want you to have a listen. So it's got to come off the back of Sabrina. So Sabrina sent me, she was trying to make a complaint to the Department of Justice or the Department of Corrections because the Eastern Kentucky Correctional Services, the ankle monitor people, didn't have the appropriate liability insurance or training or supervision, which they actually admitted in Patty Stockham's deposition. So she was making a complaint to the Department of Justice, and they weren't interested in investigating a complaint. So she sent me her letter, and I ran it through my my legal database and tried to improve it. But when I did that, it prompted me to dig a little bit deeper. And they said, well, why are you making a complaint? And she was making a complaint against the same people that she's had the civil and criminal settlements for. So I said to her initially, look, you can't double dip. You can't claim again for their negligence to them. Like, you can't do it twice. I said, but having a read of this and remembering the fact that Ben was employed both by the Eastern Kentucky Correctional Services and he was getting paid by the Letcher County Jail as the bailiff, as the deputy sheriff, wasn't it? Deputy sheriff in there?
Yeah.
Anyway, he was getting paid by both, basically. He was still being paid by the state and by this independent company. So he was being overseen then by Bert or Brian, either, and then up the chain, Lena Hensley. Now, Lena Hensley has a duty of care to make sure that every person in that jail has their civil rights met, and not making sure that a company or contractor that they employ to do a job within their facility that doesn't have the appropriate insurances. She should have been demanding every 12 months an updated insurance policy and updated policies and procedures from this external company, to make sure that everything was up above board. As far as I'm concerned, they're liable.
Yeah.
So
somebody is. Yeah.
Because Ben was employed at Letcher County Jail, if you were to make a motion to the Department of Justice, it's called a municipal liability motion. And basically, what you need to prove to have this motion approved, or whatever it's called, is that you have to show that a civil rights breach was performed. In this case, we're talking sexual assault. It's got to come off Sabrina because she's created the case law both in criminal and civil. Okay, so the civil rights, there is now a precedence. She has got the guilty plea in the civil case, and she's got the guilty plea in the criminal. So on top of that civil, you need to show that an offence was done, which she's done. Okay, so she's proven that there was a sexual assault. But if you can prove that there was an assault, like there was a pattern of behaviour, if there was an assault done prior to that and nothing was done about it, then you have a case. And all we've got that Jennifer Hill's deposition and Brianna's deposition were all before Sabrina. And never mind all the other sexual assaults that have been to court or not been to court, not reported. That means every single one of those people can actually put forward as part of this motion and become like a, what do you call it? A class action.
Class action, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good to know.
If we and Sabrina's on board, so if we get, even half a dozen, even 10 affidavits to say, yes, I was sexually assaulted in Letcher County Jail and I reported this to whoever and they did nothing about it, the Department of Corrections or the Department of Justice will have to, their hands will be forced to investigate. They have to.
And once they investigate, that opens the door to catch all the other BS that's been going on.
So I think Sabrina has opened the door to what could be the end of fuckery.
Right. They didn't think anybody would ever figure it out.
That's right. And they've sort of dug their own graves by turning a blind eye. They have shown indifference, and that's the part of the Department of Justice what do you call it, criteria that they have to meet. Yeah. That is the actual to be able to apply for this motion, they have to have said that, yeah, assaults have occurred and they've been reported. Like anyone who's even made a complaint to.
Okay, so that like goes into something even bigger and deeper for me is that many, do you know how many, not just from the courthouse, but just regular people go in and report a pedophile has touched my child, or this has happened to my child, or this happened to my grandchild, and you're stonewalled or sent away, or you find out that your lawyer's in bed with the fucking pedophile. You know what I mean? Like, it's so much broader than just that courthouse. You know what I mean? Like, this is a whole systematic failure.
We have to start somewhere, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once that, like, if we can prove that and we can get that jail shut down, then
that paves way for others.
Department of Justice in their investigation will link, the law enforcement there. They will link CPS. Because they're all interrelated. They're all part of that court system. Yeah.
Well, you see what Jessica Saxton and them are doing. They're serving these cities, the mayors and the people who write the checks to these people who enslave us, who write the checks to the police officers and the judges and the jail workers and the ones that issue it out, the government money, the ones that pass it out. They're serving the mayors with
Jennifer
treason papers. Yeah, like y'all are paying people to terrorize your own citizens.
So I remember someone mentioned her name.
But this is so much broader than just our little courthouse. You know what I mean? This is a fucking nationwide issue right now.
Absolutely. But because it's all linked to that courthouse too, like you've got the judges making the orders for family court, you've got the judges making orders for
the
CPS.
closed fucking circuit.
Yes.
But that circuit isn't just our little county. You got to think that Floyd County,
Yes.
Pike County, look at the fucking
Yes.
shit that's going on
Yes.
over there. And over
Yes.
in Perry County, speaking of, did you hear that Noah Back just made bail?
He did?
He did. $200,000, I reckon.
Of course.
Of
I haven't
course.
seen that. I haven't seen
And
the
they didn't even drop the fucking charge against the child victim.
DUI.
They didn't even drop that, but they give him bail and let him out.
That's what's been making me like comparing the two
It's
counties.
fucking stomach turning. You know what I mean? Like it's not just this county. They all work together. Like just because it's Perry County, Pike County, Letcher County.
There's a pattern.
Make no mistake. It's not just a pattern. They're connected.
Yes, they are.
They are linked up. They are a criminal organization. It's RICO on every fucking level.
But can you imagine having that jail shut down?
Oh my God, yes, that would be a dream.
That's a
Liberation Day, by God. Yep.
That's a fucking good start.
Yep. Liberation Day for Letcher County.
So
start with our little tribe and see.
That's the
if we
thing.
Can continue the movement. Yeah, but I mean, people are already making waves in that direction.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just not hit our little county yet. They're going to have a big fucking surprise when it does, though. When they're all fucking hit with treason. Yep.
Actually, win this motion, you can nominate either the jail or Bert or Lena as well, as the defendants, basically, because they have a duty of care to maintain your civil rights.
Yes.
Anyone who's been caught at settlement.
Do you know that it's actually in the Constitution and one part of it that it specifically talks to jailers about what their responsibilities are about keeping, prisoners safe and their requirement of what a jailer specifically.
Yes, because we have unalienable rights. We are creatures. We are beings that were created by God to come here and experience this earth. We're not here to be your fucking slaves. We're not here for you to treat like a dog and lock up in a fucking concrete room and deprive of food and water and sunlight. I need to hush.
Edith, we've discovered that on the Letcher County Jail's website, they offer I think it was 8 or 10 programs, federally funded programs but they needed level 4 facility accreditation to be able to teach them. So they needed a level 4 counselor in their employment, and they don't have that. So they so they're offering these programs. Well, sorry, they're saying they're offering these programs on the website, but they're never ever offered to the inmates at all. And the money is funneled in through MCH through the SAW grant. Was it South? What was the name for that? South something. Anyway, there was a photo of Judge Mullins, Judge Kraft, Mickey Steins, Adam Maggott, Bert Sloan, Brian Sloan, all in front of this federal grant sign. Southeastern something or other. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. So they're funneling it in through the biggest conglomerate owned by the biggest families, so to speak, by MCHC. And because it's so big, well, how do they keep track of where that money goes to? Once they've applied through them, it gets funneled out, and that money goes directly to the jailer. So the jailer of Letcher County is responsible for where that funding money gets distributed to. And they actually have allocations of funding for the ankle monitoring program. So they could have offered Sabrina, they could have offered Brianna, they could have offered Jennifer Hill, because there was 4 applicants on that initial file. 2 are now dead. and the other one withdrew out of fear, pretty much. And Sabrina is still actually in
And
danger.
for good reason. They got a fucking warrant on her for nothing.
She's still being monitored.
She's
her phone,
still hunted like a fucking deer.
Yep. Her phone, she turns it on, and she says every day there's different contacts on there that she's never ever heard of. She's being monitored on her phone for sure. All of her social media, everything. And I found out, I was speaking to her on Friday, that because she was released from Letcher County Jail just before Jennifer Hill had the accidental overdose, and she had to go straight to her parole officer for a random drug test. So she went there, did her wee test, and went home. And her parole officer rang her and asked her if she was okay, and she said, "Why?" She had a lethal dose of fentanyl in her system. From the jail. She went straight from the jail to her parole officer, and she had a lethal dose of fentanyl in her system. And Mickey Steins said to her when she first actually filed her lawsuit, and it wasn't a threat, it was basically just a statement. He said to her, "You may live long enough to see the funds, but you won't live long enough to spend them." Yep. Now, you tell me he didn't know anything about that shit. I'm sorry. He knew all about it. That's why he was so scared when he was arrested. So, yeah, it's way, way, way bigger than anyone thinks. Yes, you do. You have to get out of that county. Yeah, absolutely. And that was straight out of Sabrina's mouth. Like, yep. And the two, they tried to, they kept a lid on all the details, all the dirty details, because they forced a plea deal, basically. They forced her to accept, Ben pled guilty to his criminal, which they hid from everybody. I cannot find any documentation anywhere about his criminal trial. And basically, we only found out after he'd done his 6 month sentence, cushy sentence. And yeah, again, they forced a plea deal in the civil trial, so none of the dirty laundry would be aired out. And that's how they've kept the lid on it. But it still creates case law. It still creates the history of that being a guilty
precedent.
So, yes, it does, and that's
precedent. Yeah,
that's what
we need.
Yeah, well,
a good start.
The only thing that you're required to do this is
but
to
y'all
show
just know I ain't gonna be happy until this whole fucking system is fucking shattered.
Yeah, well,
think about it. Think about the Epstein files. Y'all are still like bowing and wanting to fucking lick the boots of these motherfuckers, these boot wearing bastards who have enslaved not only you. Okay, y'all want to say expose the Epstein files, list the files. Everybody goes the fuck off because this name's on it, that name's on it. What about the fucking victims that's been telling you to your goddamn faces for decades about the same abuses that's happening in your own fucking backyard, and you stupid backwoods motherfuckers don't even care?
Well, that's exactly what we need. So you've done that, Tyre, and you've created that history now. So we can show that they have been aware of the problem and done nothing about it. And that's how we get them. And then the dominoes will fall. You watch.
Think about how many reports. Think about how many reports, Ty, that inmates themselves made to them down there at that jail, and they would tell them,
how many
"Well,
rapes
we'll
have been
submit
reported?
it.
How
We'll
many
submit
fucking
it.
negligent
We'll
deaths?
submit
How
it."
many fucking murders? How many beatings?
Yep.
Oh God, this fucking
Exactly.
infuriates me. I am on fire on the inside, y'all. You don't even understand.
Yep, let's get them.
Once you fucking comprehend what these motherfuckers have done.
We'll get
When
them,
you
darling. We'll
realize
fucking...
what these bastards have done that you look up to. You look up to these motherfuckers. Oh, they're a judge. Oh, they're a fucking clerk. They're a what the fuck ever. You worship them. The president, what the fuck ever. But once you fucking grasp what they do for a goddamn living,
Yep.
you realize that, okay, all this other shit, like this is on our little micro level here in Appalachia, right? Look, think about it on a bigger scale on the macro. Look at Candace Owens, what she's exposing, what the world is exposing now that the fucking files have dropped and other countries are actually taking action on what they've learned. Let's go over a couple of things. Freemasonry, for one thing.
Yep.
The fucking Freemason. These motherfuckers y'all look up to. The ones that say, oh, we just follow the Bible. You know that the word Lord in the Bible means veil, right? Do y'all know that?
Means what?
Veil.
B-A-L-E.
B-A-A-L. A fucking demonic entity. Well, it's not a demonic entity. He is a deity. But that's besides the point, okay? But they don't worship the same God that you think that they do, is my point. They sacrifice people. They murder people. They steal from people. They take your lands and displace you and steal your children on purpose. There is fucking, how many of them, Brandy? How many of them in France are getting charged with murder right now? Because they fucking uncovered it and exposed it. In the UK, they have made it a new rule that a cop, if he is a Freemason, he has to disclose that to you before he can even fucking interact with you. There's a reason for that. All our judges and fucking lawyers and shit here are fucking Freemasons.
Yeah. But if we oh yes, the Eastern Star, yes, correct.
Yes. Yes.
That is the biggest Freemasons thing in Kentucky, isn't it? Eastern Star.
Yeah.
That's that's like the women's side of things, I think. Kinda. The Eastern Stars are like the female branch, aren't they?
No, there's different like organizations of them, and Eastern Star is the.
It's on my to-do list.
Yeah,
it's on my radar. But if you imagine, if we get the Department of Corrections focused on investigating the jail, so the jail leads to the judges because they're making all the
decisions.
Yeah, and that then cascades onto the rest. Okay, and you know damn well what they're going to find. They're not if they haven't hidden. Yeah,
they ain't put a penny in that jail in 30 years.
So that's going to basically clear out the courthouse and fresh blood, yeah? If they don't shut it down. As well as all of the jailers, as well as all of the staff, everything. Gone.
They would be a mass
retirement. We don't need fresh blood. We need the entire institution fucking dismantled and start the fuck over.
Mass retirements would happen, though. I'm telling you, if they started investigating, it would be mass retirements. Everybody would just,
Funny that we already have had.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Quite a few fucking random retirements and stepping back, not going to run again.
It doesn't matter if they retire because you can.
I mean, but that's what they're trying to fucking back out of it because they know they're caught. They know that we know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, the Department of Justice or Corrections will be straight onto that. They're not silly.
No.
And even so,
the Department of Justice is part of it, Jody. They are part of it. They are of the same fucking group. They are the same fucking Freemasons. The entire fucking U.S. government, the way it's structured for the U.S., United States of America is a corporation that operates under maritime law. They are treating us like they're fucking pirates just scooping us off the streets. They're a foreign entity. We are an occupied nation. And we have been. We are slaves. I'm sorry. I can't, it burns me, man. Because it's so deeply ingrained and it goes so much bigger. So much bigger. This goes back to the fucking, these are Jesuits.
Yeah.
You know, this is historical. This is biblical.
Yeah, but there's only so much we can chip away at either. Like,
yeah,
we're not going to overturn the U.S.
But I mean,
government.
just vote. I mean, putting somebody new in the same fucking position ain't going to help. Is what I'm saying. It don't matter if we even look, if they restored all the voting rights right here, right now, restore all the felons' voting rights. Like, what's going to happen when we vote in the next one? It's going to be the same system that this one operates under. It's not a problem of who's in office or who it is that's enacting the abuse at the moment. It's a problem of this is how it's structured. This is how it is built. This is what it is designed to do.
Yeah, but that's elected. That's with those people that are
that's
in
like swatting
power
like
now.
a mosquito off of you when you're in the fucking jungle, you know, and you got 500 more mosquitoes around you.
Yeah, but if you put in people that are not part of the good old boys and you break their power structure,
they only last for a year or two, and then they're one of the good old boys. And it's been proven time and time again. Generation after generation after generation.
But we've never been able to stop them before, you know, or have the opportunity to try
Because
to
we've
stop
never
them.
dismantled the system. We've always just tried to replace it with the next guy that acts like he might be good for us.
Yeah.
Oh, do we get one guy in the door with a whole fucking cult of satanic pedophile, fucking pedophile? Oh, God. They're eating our children. They're sacrificing us. Did you know that our school photos were put in the Epstein files? They were put out and marketed. All your children are in the Epstein files. Every American child that has ever taken a school photo has been placed up for auction by the government. It's the whole fucking government. I'm ranting, but it's real. Like, we've got to do something completely different. We've got to strip it all the way back to the Constitution, and we need completely new leaders and a whole new system. Because the patriarchy fucking failed. They've had thousands of years to fucking do their patriarchy bullshit. And this is where it's got us. So we need women leaders to step up.
Yeah.
We need matriarchs. And I've never been more proud. You know, this year I've seen more campaign ads for women than I've ever seen, like, in my entire life put together. And I'm like, hell yeah. It's a start. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But these poor women are going into a fucking system that is shattered from the inside. It was designed to enslave. It wasn't designed to bring justice.
No,
it wasn't designed for safety. It wasn't designed with your needs or fucking wants in mind.
Yeah. It was designed to make money.
To slave you.
And make money off you.
And make money off you. Remove your power. Take your land. Take your property. Take your children that you birth. We ain't mad enough, y'all. We ain't fucking mad enough. Oh.
Well, I think if we can try and at least dismantle what I see as the core facility in Letcher County, where everything sort of emanates from, so to speak, because that's like your central being, and then every arm, be it law enforcement, CPS, child support, foster family, like the rehab clinics, that's all linked. It's all intertwined. So I'm hoping that even if we can get some kind of investigation in there and some kind of exposure.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if Bert can get out in public and demand an investigation, then I don't see why the public can't turn around and return the same favor and say, okay, fine, well, let's do an investigation on.
There's strength in numbers. Yeah.
You know,
they can't, if there's too many people that are claiming the same thing, they cannot refuse not to do anything about it, not to address it. They have to. And I understand that the Department of Justice is the same sort of, it's the same
the arm
yeah, it's the long arm of the law type of thing. It's the extension, but they're not directly linked to the proceedings in Letcher County. They're the governing body, but if they don't know what's happening or what's going on, then they won't do anything about it. Does that make sense?
Because, I mean, like you was talking the other night that there hadn't, been no PREA ever reported type. Well, there's proof now that there has been PREA.
Yeah.
And it wasn't reported. So, where she won her case, it shows it happened.
Yes. They've got, evidence. They have a guilty plea on both civil and criminal. So they can't deny that it didn't happen. The only thing we have to show is that it was happening before that and no one did anything about it and they knew. So how many times have, people complained in Letcher County about something?
Yeah.
They add up to how, I just think it's our best avenue, so to speak. I mean, we've got nothing to lose.
I mean, it's definitely a step. Like I said, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
But like, we need to be
lose.
thinking bigger than this, y'all. Like, this is not just a little problem that's going to go away by closing this one little jail. Like, we're still going to be under the fucking umbrella of all these entities that control every aspect of our lives.
Yeah, but they'll be under a microscope then because they've been exposed.
But they're not, because they already have been exposed for 20 fucking years and nobody ever paid attention. We've known about this shit. Like, people's been saying it. People's been screaming it from the rooftop.
And that's what we're going to
do. Do you know how much stuff is coming out about targeted individuals and how the Freemasons are involved in all that? Have you seen that?
We use against them.
Like, this shit is deep. It's so deeply systematic that's exactly what the system was designed to do.
Yep.
Like, so putting a new person to work in that system isn't going to fix it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm really getting at when I say it's not going to help the fucking vote, because it's still the same fucking system that's meant to fucking hold us down. One person's not going to be able to make a difference just because they get a judge position. I hope that Nick can. I hope he does good things for people while he's there. But he'll either be corrupted within the next year or two, or he won't be there anymore.
But not if you
Because they ain't going to let somebody stick around unless they fucking fold and comply. Just like Mickey. That's how Mickey ended up stuck there working up their asses for so long, I think. Because they wouldn't let him just fucking walk off. And
if you clear out all those people and you put in people that are not associated whatsoever with those families, people completely
it ain't got
outside.
nothing to do with the families when the system that they work for is the one that's corrupt. The families are just filling a role. If it's not their family, it'll be the next family that benefits and fucking makes millions off our back. It's the system.
They've kept the system in power because they appoint the next person coming up the ranks and you don't get a say. So they keep that going because they've appointed positions that
that they have chosen. Yes. The ranks don't stop at Letcher County. It goes all the way up above.
No, they don't.
All the way to the White House. Yep. Trump's trying, I think. But yeah, it's not. It doesn't stop. Like, just slapping somebody on the wrist that works at our jail ain't going to fix nothing. Closing our little jail ain't going to fix nothing for the rest of the fucking population of America that has to deal with this.
But it helps our people,
It does.
And it will
But what are they going to do with them? They're just going to turn them loose if they close that jail? No, they're going to move them to a different fucking prison.
You want them
into the same
charged.
system that they just fucking got liberated.
No, the motion is just the first step. Once you've got the motion and they're being investigated and then they find out, whatever they discover, that's when you go in and you do your own criminal, what do you call it, filings. Like if they can prove that they...
I mean, that's where I'm at. Like, I don't even care about a civil suit. Can't we just jump to the fucking criminal filing?
If it was that easy, darling, we could, but no.
Why? After all that they did to me, why can I not just file charges against them?
You can file charges.
Me, torturing me, holding me against my will, spraying me with pepper spray while I was tied up.
Yep, you absolutely can. But who's going to hear it?
Depriving me of sunlight for years. Why could I not just go and file charges against them?
Can, absolutely.
Where?
But who's going to hear your case? Who's going to hear your case?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The same system that did it to me is who will be hearing my case.
Correct.
That's the problem.
Why we need to shut it down.
Yeah. It's the same fucking system. We're fighting a losing battle. Fighting within the system's bounds.
Well, like
we need to think outside the system.
Yeah. We didn't have a step to stand on before, but we have a bridge now.
We've got to step outside the system, though. There's got to be something. There's got to be something else. I don't know. Maybe it's federal, fucking like civil rights law. I don't know.
It's a stepping stone. That's all. We give it as a stepping stone, and the more people that we can get to
draw attention to it more than anything. It's to get the focus back on what we need them to look at,
and it will set up the precedents for other counties. If that county gets done for corruption, then they will investigate around them. Do you know what I mean? It's a domino effect because it sets up.
Well, we've been being told that they were already here investigating since before the shooting. So
not talking about the feds.
I'm not holding my breath.
No, not with the feds. You've got to go above. This is the Department of Corrections and the Department of Justice. It's called a what's it called?
The Department of Corrections is what is like the DOC. The DOJ is more over the judges,
which is part of the same system. They don't care. Yeah, the DOJ don't give a fuck. The FBI don't give a fuck because they're trafficking people. The FBI is actively participating in human trafficking all over the place.
If you put forward a motion to the Department of Justice with 20 witnesses and 20 affidavits and they ignore that, then
how many do you think the Epstein victims filed? How many victims are in that? And they still haven't got their justice. It's been over 20 years. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of victims who have filed affidavits, in-person interviews, sit down and talk to fucking police, shown evidence, given proof. Y'all, it's not going to be fixed with any Band-Aid.
No one's saying that, sweetheart. It's not going to fix it, but it's a good step in the right direction, I reckon, and it'll shake them up. It'll scare the fuck out of them because you've got to take the money out from under them. If they don't have the money and the power, then
they can't operate.
Correct.
But, well, there's no reason for them to do it. If you take the money out of it, there's no reason.
Yeah. And then, that's right, Edith. You take the power away, and that takes the fear as well. People will become more confident, and the more people will step forward, and more people will come forward because there isn't anyone in those power positions in the jail or in the courthouse for retribution. It's going to be, you watch, it'll be a domino effect or a snowball, whatever you want to call it. Look, we've got nothing to lose to try. What are they going to do?
Yeah, nothing to lose to try.
That's right. That's right. So I'm in the middle of drafting the, because we have to do it on the back of Sabrina. Yeah. So she like the draft motion or the main motion comes from her. And then we add affidavits to that motion in support. And we've already got Brianna because she was abused before Sabrina. So by saying that, we've proven that there was a pattern and that they knew about it because it was in lawsuit. Yeah, you can't deny that they didn't know about Brianna. She was the first, and yet they still didn't do anything because then it allowed them to do Jennifer and Sabrina at the bare
'cause
minimum.
it was in the depositions.
That makes it, yes, they've put it in their depositions.
Yeah.
So they can't deny it.
And then if we have more people than just those three, though, that, there's proof, or there,
like you were saying, that the guy that was raped with the broom, he had a successful conviction as well. There's prior history right there.
and the jail's never been held accountable for anything, any of it. It's been put off on,
The people presiding over it are the ones that judge it, and they won't prosecute. But you take those judges out, take them out of the equation, and it's going to be a whole shit can of fuckery opened up. You wait and see. You mark my words, motherfucker. Mark my words.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I got faith in you.
All right, so change the subject. Lee texted me this morning asking or saying that he'd received this big package of FOIA documents that he had received on, what was her name? Angela May. And he said, you remember her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I've never heard of her before in my life. And then he's saying, Sam Wright, rah. I said, who the fuck is Sam Wright? Apparently he was the
judge before
Mullen. Yeah. So he's telling me that I knew all this shit. And then
that was a stairs judge.
Yeah, he says to me, well, I'm only asking you because I thought you knew everything. I'm like, you. Yeah, I played nice though. So I texted Brandy and she said, oh, no, Tyra will know all that. I'm like, I said to him, you sure you didn't have this conversation with Tyra and not me? And he's like, oh, yeah, I might have. So apparently he's got a big stack of information about her.
That'll be amazing to sit down and look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was she part of I don't know, or I can't place the name for some reason.
No. Well, I asked him to if he still had all the information that Tyra had given him about Trina when he was up there. And he feigned not knowing what I was talking about, and he said, oh, it'll probably be in my notes, I'll have to have a look. And I said, well, apparently it was when you went over the very first time to Tyra's place, she gave you all this information. He said, oh, well, it would be recorded then, because I'd asked him for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the big things that we talked about.
Yep. Yep.
I think I was on the phone with you all. Remember
you
were?
Had me on the phone. You were on the Zoom call with us while we were doing it. Yeah, and recording it too, I think, wasn't you?
Yep.
Well, yeah, he said I'll have it recorded, but didn't offer.
We should have it recorded, maybe somewhere, possibly.
I'll check.
So,
yeah, just to file it away.
All right, my lovelies, I'm going to have to go because I've got an appointment this afternoon, and I'm busting out the toilet. Bloody fluid tablet.
Yeah, I'm going to go have me some supper. And
what time is it over there?
It's 11:15.
It's past your bedtime. You need your beauty sleeps.
I agree with that 100.
I agree too.
Oh, Edith, it was an investigative journalist that came out and interviewed Tyra a couple of months ago. So, yeah. All right. Well, I hope that that was interesting. We've certainly opened a few can of worms, I think. So stay tuned because, I'll be digging deep and filing. Well, I'll be contacting Sabrina again and we'll finalise what we're going to put in it. And I will then do an explanatory sort of video saying, this is, if you're interested, putting it out there,
Yeah.
and we'll see how much response we have and go from there, eh? Go
Sounds
from
good.
there. What else have we got? We've got a few things on the board that need to be discussed. We've got more family court stuff. We've got a whole heap of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. Click that notification bell to all.
Stay tuned. I feel a revolution.
Oh yes. Watch this space. Watch this space. There's a storm coming.
Yeah.
The storm is here, y'all.
Mhm.
The storm is
Yeah,
here.
yeah. All right, my loves.
Have
Have
a
fun,
wonderful
guys.
rest of your day and have a good night, Brandy. I love you both so much.
Right.
And thank you all for joining us and all the things. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Night, everybody.
Rest in peace, Trina. Rest in peace, my love.
Yes.
you-
We're thinking
more
about it. We're trying to figure it.
Yeah. So if you can't be good at it. Be nice to your mum because she loves you. You know she does. And hasta la vista, bitches. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.